Tavern. A little about us, we're your at-home interactive weekly geek con, all blended with wit, sarcasm, and a pub-like atmosphere. We're adults talking about adult topics and using adult language. We laugh and make jokes about almost everything. We don't intend to upset, but some folks have their feelings hurt easily. This is all done in humor in the style of the great offenders such as George Carlin, Red Fox, Lenny Bruce, Richard Pryor, Robin Williams, Wanda Sykes, Sam Kinison, George Lopez, Lisa Lampanelli, Chris Rock, and others. So grab your vice of choice, sit back, relax, and get ready to enjoy yourself in the company of great people, hot toddies, and guests alike, because here we come.
Put that long day behind you. Good times lie ahead. With company worth keeping, that'll bash a smile on your head. Come on in, the door's open. You'll find just the finest folks here. Pull up a chair, grab a drink, and lend our stories your ear. Cause we're the talk of the tavern. Here you're always welcome. The talk of the tavern. Promising beer and bedlam. The talk of the tavern. Music, medicine, then some. The talk of the tavern. The song's over. Here we come.
Cha-cha!
Yay!
Hey!
We can hear it now.
Welcome to the abandoned house that is Talk of the Tavern. It's been a day. It's a pretty good weekend, though. Okay, let me do introductions. I'm Travis Sivart, your host. I have hot apple cider. I have a bottle of water. I have some Paul Masson 4-year brandy that I will be pouring in just a second. And I think I'm going to go with the big, fat, sausage-looking cigar tonight. Probably the Cigar again. This is my co-host on the show and co-host in life. There's Andrea.
Hi, I'm having tea. I don't feel very well. I'm having tea and water, and my awesome vice tonight is Stiff Upper Lip. It's a lip stain by Unique Cosmetics, and it's Savvy. It makes me look not so like I feel like crap.
And I tell you what, we're waiting on Elizabeth and Kevin to join
Hi,
us.
Toey.
Hey, Toey.
Toey's here. Von Hegner's here. Ian's here.
You guys showed up just in time to hear me bitch about stuff. It's, I won't do it for long, though. Won't drag us down or anything. So, a really good weekend, actually. Kind of had a fun, relaxed weekend. Got a few things done. Not enough. Got a few other things I still need to get done. Oh, we also, I'm going to call out our usual folks here. Devnall, good to see ya. Skipper, 1 and 2. It's like Thing 1 and 2, isn't it? Who, by the way, I got a tech lesson from them this weekend while they were in bed, if you know what I mean. So that was
Yeah,
good.
you did.
Of course, Von Hegner, Ian. Max, good to see you. Oh, somebody threw, what was that? Did I get somebody's bits on my face?
I threw my bits at your
Was
face.
it your bits? Okay.
Yeah.
It looks like Mad Hawk is here. Did I get everybody? I think I did. Hey, everyone. Glad to see you.
Hi, everybody.
You guys are awesome. So, yeah, this weekend was pretty good. But then, last night, this morning, Andrea's like, oh, I don't feel so great. Okay.
Because I worked, and everybody at work goes because they're sick and they can't afford to take off of work. So now I'm sick. Go ahead. This morning.
Brandy there. Yeah, she's not feeling well. And I stayed up last night doing something. It's a surprise for you guys, actually. You'll get to see it here when we take our first break. I'm proud of it. I'm thrilled with it, but I realize it could be better. So you can give criticism. Just realize I have a certain level of pride in that I spent 12 hours. Oh, hold on.
Here's the thing. If you give criticism, tell them how to fix it if you know.
Absolutely. If you have
criticism. It's his first attempt.
I want to know about it. Hold on. Kevin has just said add him, which I did before.
Okay.
But I'm adding him again. And you know what? I'll just add Elizabeth also. Look at those photos waiting for them to come in. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
Good time. Now, I've got to set up the screen properly. Are they all good? And Elizabeth will be along in a moment. See, Kev, I was just going into everything that's going on that's led up to tonight. And I was only to 7 a.m. this morning so far. Can you hear us? Are you muted?
Gotcha.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
No, I've got you. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah. We got you now.
Look at me, late to the party. That's unlike me.
No, man. Keep in mind, no, everybody, Ed is traveling today. So Ed's like, yeah, I can't be there, guys. Maybe I'll join on my phone. Maybe not. We'll see.
He's in bed sleeping already.
Kevin, because of his job, as it sometimes happens, he's like, I'm going to be late, which is better than not showing up. Stephanie, who was our guest and a professional chef that was going to be on, I messaged her 5 till 7 because we actually get on an hour before the show just to tech everything, which tonight we need. And Elizabeth, it says you're connected. If you are, there's no camera, there's no sound. So
Although I'm loving the still photograph.
yeah, she took that tonight. That's part of this whole story I'm telling. So Stephanie's like, I'm waiting for a tow truck.
Oh, wow.
I'll let you know when I get home. So at 1:45, I'm like, yeah, I'm calling it. You're not coming on because we won't have time to tech things, especially with how this time is going. Ian thinks you should have some brandy, Andrea.
Mm-hmm. I know, I'm writing back to him. That sounds good for after the show when I have my book. I'll get in bed with my tea, my brandy, and my book. I'll be out.
Brandy sounds good now. The only problem I have is I don't have any brandy.
I just bought a wee bottle here.
So nice. A wee bottle. What have you got there?
That's Paul
That
Mason
is a
4
little
year, the VSOP.
Nice.
That's the kind I like. You'll have to.
Oh, we've got an echo fest from Elizabeth.
Oh. You'll have to fix the pictures on the Twitch page because they're kind of squished.
I'm waiting for Elizabeth to turn on her camera so I can adjust it
Not see
correctly.
that?
What are you seeing? Anyhow, it came, it went. It came, it went. It came, it went.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, welcome to tonight's show. This is about cooking and
Story of my
cannibalism.
life.
And apparently we're going to eat ourselves here. There we go. No, what mic are you using?
Yay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're a bit like Pop.
Bit like pop, like soda?
Yeah, Pop will eat itself.
Just cam.
What?
I'll take these motherfuckers out.
That's right. Take them all out, bitches. Yo.
I'll just take this off.
Okay.
Buttermint tea makes me feel better.
Yay.
It's good stuff.
Okay.
Hey, Kevin!
Hey!
Good to see you.
He said alarmingly loudly and possibly waking his wife up. Hey.
Oh.
Oh, man. Okay, people. Somebody throw some bits so I can make sure my cup is right. Pretty please. Oh, that's something else I want to talk to everybody. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, yeah, everyone help Travis adjust his cup.
Hey, Kevin, I got a surprise for you. Redeem your
Oh,
cock
my God.
for me.
Oh, yeah.
Redeem
Oh.
your cock for me.
Redeem
Damn
my
it.
cock. Okay, bear with me a second. Hang on. I'm still literally bringing everything up to speed. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, and if you need a moment to walk away, we'll...
Oh no.
We'll joke on you. It's all right.
There it is.
See, you can hear it now.
Yay! That's awesome.
That's less
I like that.
enthusiasm than I like. I'm firing that asshole.
If you were here earlier, Kevin, you could
Dude.
hear the theme song. We have the theme song now.
Never mind enthusiasm. I'm amazed I actually made it at the time I did tonight. You
I'll-
have no idea how much of my life I took into my hands to get home this fast.
I'll do this for you guys. Hold on.
Times lie ahead with company worth keeping. That'll catch a smile on your head.
So we got this now.
Come on in, the door's open, you'll find just
Yeah,
the
baby.
finest folks here. Pull up a chair, grab a drink.
I'm turning this shit up for you.
Stories your ear, 'cause we're the talk the tavern. Here you're always welcome. The talk the tavern. Promising beer and bedlam. The talk the tavern. Music, medicine, then some. The talk the tavern. The song's over. Here we come.
So yeah, we almost didn't get to come tonight. With all the
Amazing.
To go on
We
with
you
this,
say that.
so need to do a dance.
By the way, I have
Oh
added,
God.
in addition to cock, you can now get pussy and ass and sheep and a rim shot. Yeah, so there's extra new noises there for everybody to go play with. So there we go.
I'm loving that.
Hold on.
Well, we've got a story about I'm loving it. I don't know if you heard about this. We'll get to that in the news.
There you go.
You should have told us about this.
I almost named it Rim Job. I really, really did, but I felt like it was something different enough. Devnall, thank you, buddy. Here's
Thank
you.
you,
You know what? Let's
Devnall.
toast you with the brandy. Oh, for everybody listening,
Oh, we need a toast. We didn't have an opening toast.
hold on. Oh yeah,
I haven't even got a drink yet.
I don't either.
took a moment for the pussy to come in.
It does.
I like a bit of delayed action pussy.
You have anything to drink, Kev?
Nothing.
Okay.
Literally, this is my love for the show. As I've raced in the door, thrown my work clothes are on the other side of the lounge where I've just thrown them, changed, booted my computer up. I've not eaten in 14 hours. I've not even made a coffee
Here's
yet.
what we're gonna do. We're gonna give Kevin. It is randomly chaotic tonight, Toey, and that's how it's gonna be. Kevin, mute yourself. Go make your coffee. Go pour a drink. Go get some food in front of you. Come back in somewhere between 30 seconds and 10 minutes.
Done.
Okay. Everybody else, going on with the story. So our guest broke down and couldn't make it, and I didn't want to do the tech help. Now, the whole time we're waiting for our guest to show up so I could tech her to be on, Elizabeth starts out with, oh, look, I'm only 3 minutes late, which was the best of the bunch. She even beat Andrea on. Okay, so we get
We
on,
won't talk about that.
and I'm like, hey, Elizabeth, touch your mic. Usually when you touch the mic, you hear this. So I know, okay, that's the right mic. Wasn't the right mic. I'm like, fix your mic. And she's like, oh, click, click, click. Oh, it won't work. Let me restart Skype. Restart Skype. We come back. Now, nothing. And Elizabeth, the way your mic is set up right now, it's bouncing off your speakers.
But my speaker's not off.
I don't know. We're getting a feedback loop once in a while. So if you hear it, just mute yourself for a second. You'll be fine.
What the hell is that, Kevin?
That's his loaf. It's a British loaf. Whew, when he gets back, we'll do the opening toast. Elizabeth, she's like, screw it, I'm going home.
I'm going to be through another cup of tea here in a second.
There we go. That's how it's been today, guys. Andrea's sick. I poured some hot apple cider in my Ravenclaw cup. I still don't have my cigar. Guess didn't make it. Ed's not here. There's a bomb beeping. What the fuck, terrorist Elizabeth?
Ow.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have you muted.
Your headset
Nope.
is not your microphone.
Yes, I have you muted.
Well, apparently
Weird.
there's another microphone picking up. I know.
Yeah.
That's tonight, isn't it?
Serious, you can hear me.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. There
I'm
is.
looking at the screen, and there's a little line over the microphone.
Oh.
I don't know what to tell you. You've got a haunted computer. Welcome to Special Land. I don't fucking know. But here's what I was. While she's laughing and figuring out what her
Can you hear
fucking
me?
haunted. Yes. Okay. For everybody here, all of our hot toddies that are here every week, I need a favor. Once we actually get the three of us rolling, and not on the floor in laughter at the ridiculousness of today's show, I want to... Okay, do you remember last week, if you were listening at that time, and Toei, pay attention to this, because of your channel, Twitch
You're going to be tested.
wants like affiliate stuff, videos. And for example, a subscription train or a bit, and they have a special name for it, bit bomb, bit party, whatever. What I'd like to do a little later, and all of you start watching videos now for it, I would love to basically set it up where you guys get ready to throw bits all at the same time. Because last week we had like this 20-minute block with all these bits being thrown. They want a 30-second video. I cannot take a 20-minute block and melt it down to 30 seconds. I could, but I'm not going to.
We can do this tonight, and then we'll all be on video and awesome. And
Yeah,
what does it do? Get a clip shown more or
yeah,
something?
basically it's you submit these videos to Twitch and then they put them up and go, look, special people. That's it.
That's us, especially tonight.
You know, maybe in 15, 20 minutes, I'll tell you guys, okay, get ready. We're going to do this. And I hate to say this, but if you have 50 bits to share, instead of throwing one 50-bit, perhaps if you could do 10 5-bits, just so it looks like that much more craziness going on, that'd be awesome. We'd appreciate that. And it's just for the video.
When do you want to do this?
I figure 15, 20 minutes, let Kevin get back before we actually get into the topic, which they are all just ready.
I'll have mine set up, so all I got to do is hit the button so it'll go.
Okay, yeah, and that's something. Busy taking care of mom, sick as a dog all day, watching fishing and car streams. Throw 10 -1 at a time because that's all it's got. You know, tell you, if there's 15 of you guys in here, or even 10 of you guys in here, you all throw something, you're not going to hit it all at the same time, and it's still going to have to scroll through. So even if you're like, oh, there you go, it's fine. It's more for the effect. This is not about, hey, give us your money. This is more about, let's make a cool video to hand to Twitch that they might go.
We want to be featured.
Yeah, that's all. That's all it is, guys. See, look at this. I love... They reset the counter on top of the chat box. So right now, Devnall is our #1 cheerer at 11 bits. And
They reset it?
They do, every week. I could set it up so it goes like forever or a week or every day it resets. It's up to me. Oh, hold on.
I watch videos during the week so that... Because we have other shows, and while we're waiting for our guests...
See, Jamin in the Facebook event group says, I like cooking my family and my pets. Use commas.
Me too, Chinese.
Yeah, use commas. Don't be psycho. And when I sent out the newsletter, for those of you that get the newsletter, yeah, that was the thing. Quotes, let's eat grandma, and quote, let's eat, comma, grandma, are two different things.
I like a well-roasted pussy. Does that count?
Sometimes.
What is that?
That is Kevin. When he speaks, it has a feedback hum.
Oh, he's vibrating or something.
Unmute.
Getting feedback when I talk?
Yep.
Every time I speak?
It's constant, not just when you speak, when you unmute yourself.
It sounds like bees. Do you have bees? That's how you get bees.
You don't want bees, do you?
That's how you get bees.
If you're going to watch that show, just watch it for that one line. That 3 minutes. Go.
And the show is Archer.
Yeah.
It's on Netflix.
It's stupid ass. Oh, that's better, Kevin. You sound no buzzing. Now we'll see about Elizabeth, who we can still hear. Kevin's using his vibrator. There we go. Oh, there's Bob, Navy Dad. Good to see you, bud. It's been a little bit. No Ed today. You could still hang around. We like you, but Ed's on the road again. Elizabeth, just so you know, we can still hear you.
Just checking. I've just unmuted. Are you still getting the same buzz?
No, you sound good now.
No.
Okay, cool. It's fine. It's because I'm on my old laptop because my current one's in the shop for repairs and I needed to adjust the settings.
Gotcha. I've got to finish this. You know how hot apple cider gets nasty when it's the powdered stuff and it gets cold?
When it's not hot anymore.
Yeah. The funny thing is Elizabeth can now not hear us even though we can hear her. She made herself a steak, everyone. So everybody type in there, enjoy your steak. Compliment her steak. Say you love the color of her meat. Whatever you want. Just go to it. This is about cooking and cannibalism. Let's make this shit happen.
Okay.
What happens if I click there? Oh, she unmuted us.
Can you hear me?
Yes, and
Yes.
ourselves. Interesting.
I have
Oh,
no idea what's going on.
It's because you were all alone on the train today.
That's probably.
You're in an alternate reality.
Okay, get this, and viewers out there. All I did was I was getting ready to leave to go get my steak, which I made for tonight's show. I turned, and you said you were getting bounced back off my speakers, so I turned the speakers off on my monitor, which is also a television.
Mm-hmm.
And when I did that, everything shut off. Okay? I couldn't hear you. You couldn't hear me. Now those are back on, but my mute button is on Skype. And you can hear me and I can hear you.
It'll work.
What?
I guess. I don't know.
I don't know, but I'm ready to roll. Let's do it.
There's a
Oh,
lot of
I
comments
want
about.
steak.
Should I thaw some now? That way we have it. I could cook it when we're done.
We need it Wednesday anyway.
You'll be hungry.
Everybody loves your meat, Elizabeth. Kevin catching up with things. What are you eating, Kevin? You
Just
got
like
your
people.
loaf of British bread. We saw that.
Okay, no, just to correct you, that's not bread. That is 5 British Applefield donuts.
Oh.
I'm not quite sure what makes them British. Although theoretically, depending on which legend you believe, the Isle of Wight, where I live, is actually the home of the donut.
Nice.
And for main
Thank
course
you, Bob.
this evening,
Here's you,
I
Bob.
am eating. Cheers, Bob. I'm eating thread noodles with chicken, water chestnut, stir-fried vegetables, and crispy kale.
Oh, ew, kale. Everything but kale.
I don't like.
Don't
water,
hate on the kale.
I don't like water chestnuts.
I love those. I want some Indian food. We had the best Indian food when we were there. And they deliver.
Yeah, it
I
was like
miss that.
cheap ass Indian food. It's kind of like getting nasty pizza delivered at home. It's just so good.
Oh.
Ah.
What? Von Hegner's having papadoms with Ajvar. What is that, like a BDSM Indian guy?
Oh. Okay.
I don't know what that is.
It's
So-
his cannibal meal tonight.
Oh, it's a cannibal meal. That's right. He's
Probably.
eating his BDSM Indian friend. And not in the way they like it.
Von Hegner can correct me if I've got this wrong, but I think, isn't Ajvar like a dish based on sweet peppers?
I bought a bag of sweet peppers for our fajitas. They were so pretty in there. Not a big flavor difference, just enough.
I don't like fajitas, but I will eat the onions and peppers. Oh.
That's Elizabeth. That's what happens when we get excited. We start yelling. She gets like the echo chamber. Oh,
I think my board, my computer has died.
it's possible. It's quite possible.
Yeah.
So Von Hegner
I'm
says,
not talking. I'm just going to mute.
okay, you didn't make funny faces and draw things. Oh, bread with mayonnaise. Oh, I'll be back. I'm going to go whip my meat out and get a big cigar to put in my mouth. Ivar.
You should put some mayo on that.
Mayonnaise. Mayonnaise. Shrimp and
Mayonnaise.
grits.
Ah, that's good.
What do you flavor them with, Devnall? Because I like shrimp and I like grits, but I
Put the shrimp in the grits, it makes it shrimp flavored.
do you stress
It's
your
a
kale
southern
before
thing.
eating? Kind of tough. You paid all your bills? You get a job yet? Fucking kale.
Greatest shrimp I ever ate was
Oh.
in Jamaica. It was phenomenal. We stopped at a roadside shack. There was a shrimp fisherman with nets in the water. You buy a cone full of chili shrimp, and he'd walk down to the waterline, pull up the keep net, scoop a big scoopful of shrimp straight out of the sea, throw it straight in the wok, and the wok was essentially an upturned dustbin lid over an oil drum with burning pimento wood. They chuck the shrimp in, throw a bit of chili sauce over it, fry them off for about 60 seconds, straight in a paper cone. So you were literally eating shrimp that was alive 1 minute earlier. phenomenal flavour. Absolutely beautiful.
I can't eat shrimp anymore. I know. I used to eat seafood, then I had a kid, and now I'm allergic to all of it. Go figure.
Wasn't me.
I dropped my spoon. I was getting my tea tray ready to bring in here, and the whole bowl of sugar dumped on the floor. And that's what you heard me yelling because my vacuum broke. My good one. Somebody did something. Very upset. I have 7 vacuums. I have a problem.
I killed my last one.
What'd you do?
I guess I vacuumed too much. I don't look at it. I know what I did. I had a troll for a roommate.
Oh my gosh.
I tried something.
Joey, what I've noticed is there's changes in physiology. So as you go through certain second and third puberties, yeah, your tastes change and suddenly
It's an anatomy lesson.
It is.
Oh, her picture.
What picture?
Yeah, I know. I'm trying
Elizabeth's
something.
picture.
What?
It's so angry.
Oh yeah, it is. It is. Oh, I can't. I made it so people can't see it. So gravy, huh? Ian,
So they can't see her picture?
why didn't Kevin just say that? That's a lot of typing. Bob, that's how I take mine. Also, I tend to just steam it, and I do like shrimp scampi though. You know that garlic butter sauce. God,
I like
that's
Old
good.
Bay.
Not on shrimp.
On
though.
other stuff.
On other stuff.
No, I like Old Bay chips. Those are really good.
Hey, real quick, patch check. Who's got their patches?
Hold on.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Taco's having that.
Yeah, there we go. So you've got the patch check. Whoever doesn't have to has to buy drinks for everybody. I don't know how that works. No, Elizabeth's even turned on her camera just to throw a patch up. There we go.
I even have this one.
I know she has hers all the time. Yeah, that's right. Got the asshole badge tonight.
I'm an asshole.
You are. Good for you. It's, Oh, okay, so we're at 1/2 I'm going to let Kevin
My water's
finish
cold.
eating and maybe Elizabeth tech herself before we actually start on topic because, yeah, it's, we want them to
My
be able to
water's
talk
cold.
as much as possible. How's your steak, Elizabeth? Elizabeth. Can she not
Yes,
hear
she
us again?
can
We
hear.
can hear her.
That's so funny. I hear you.
Hi, Elizabeth. Now she can hear us, right?
Motherfucker, what I do is mine.
Now she's gonna draw.
Oh, man.
Kevin, are you excited on the upcoming wedding? What I missed?
Sorry.
Did you talk about a wedding?
Are you getting married, Kevin? Does your wife know?
I believe he's referring to the upcoming royal wedding.
Oh,
Am I excited about it? Yes, because it'll be the first time in generations we've introduced some fresh blood into the otherwise unelected German family that run this country.
See, I don't do a lot of seafood because Andrea has allergies. But my son and I like it to a point. I don't feel like I'm missing a lot since I don't cook it very often, and we do have it. What's the matter, Elizabeth? I feel like we should type to her and let her know that we can hear her, because I don't think it's going to be horrible if she lets out a huge belch and a fart or something.
She does that anyway.
That's how, well, I know we're the belching. Oh. Okay.
She's calling you.
Plus, is she calling me?
I think so. She showed her phone. I don't know.
Where is she
Wow.
typing? Hold on, let me go find out where she's typing. Let's see, is it here?
That's funny. They're going to be 0.2% black, huh?
I don't know. I don't know.
You mean like weedlet or shrimp? Size matters, Bob.
Nice.
Kevin almost spit out his food. That was great.
It's a magical day. See, and if ever somebody goes, man shrimp, I don't even know what a man shrimp would be. I think that'd be like a midget dressed as seafood for Halloween. I don't know what the fuck. It's like
that would be fabulous, yes.
like the worst. We hear you hear us. Yes, we heard our voices echo back. Ding.
Fries are dead.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Hey, we can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yeah, and you can hear us.
Yeah.
Right, you can hear me right now.
Yes.
Yes. Can you hear us?
No.
That's sarcasm, right? Somebody fucking tell me.
I just texted you. I just messaged you. I couldn't hear anything, and nothing happened. And now I can hear you, even though the mute is back on.
Okay, don't touch anything.
I'm not touching anything. I'm glad I'm done masturbating.
Don't. We heard you the whole time, by the way. Not a lot of reaction when you're masturbating, I'm sorry to say.
Are you sure I was in the room?
It doesn't take you long.
I don't know what you do.
It's
Wow.
Live TV.
something like that, sort of live. Okay. So, so now we have the fetish channel thing going on with Navy Dad going, love watching Elizabeth eating. Oh. Sounds like so
Throw
nice.
some bits at her.
Hey, Ian.
Oh, let us know when you're ready to do that.
We'll do it in a few minutes. I want to let Kevin finish eating and everything so he's not like reacting and spitting shit all over his camera.
Well, see, and they didn't hear you about that. Oh, my God.
Navy Dad says, I'm timing her fork with my strokes.
Well, you know, whatever.
There you go. See, I've let the ladies know. I haven't bothered to tell the guys on the show, but I've let the ladies know. If somebody says something they don't appreciate, they're capable to take care of it if they're bothered. On the other hand, if they feel like they need me to step in, just let me in and I'll totally jump in. So, we've got a good crew. Okay. Kevin, how's your food with your nuts of the chest? Good. Okay. So let me see. We got everybody on. We're good to go. Everybody start watching videos, get a few bits. We'll do the bit throwing train in a few minutes.
He's going to get a train
Then
going.
we'll get on topic. I'm going to light my pipe so I can have a big stogie smoking, and when I'm all like, wow, look at this, this is crazy.
I wish I had one right now.
Yeah.
Are you coming out here? I'll get you one. Or 5.
I'm trying. I'm trying on the 26th. I can't make the 25th.
Okay.
Well, I meant for that weekend.
Yeah,
For
baby.
your birthday.
I want to wear my shirt in person.
Well, I was going to say, if you're coming out here, I won't send everything to you.
No, don't send it. Just save it.
Hey,
I'll
Bob.
let you
I have a whole bunch of stuff.
Hey, Bob. Just so you know, both these ladies have a birthday this month. So
That's right.
throwing bits for their birthday is appreciated. Plus, if you scroll down on the page, you'll see the wish list.
Go down, Bob.
They each have a wish list up there with things they want from you. Now, here we go with the slow removal of the clothing. Or the slow reaching up onto a high shelf.
No,
don't
she's
know.
gonna draw on the board or something.
Ah, I found it. I cleaned. I can't find anything. I got everything organized. My troll left, so I cleaned everything. I'll find it later.
It's gonna be horrible if your troll ends up being a big fan of the show. Putting themselves to sleep.
I had students ask me today, third graders, about the show. And I said, ask me at the end of the semester.
There you go. When I can't get fired if you watch
It's
it over
not
the summer.
no, it's just wait till I can't be fired.
Right. That's what I said, where you can't get fired. The thing is, the Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday shows are a lot less volatile than this one. They're a lot more... I don't want to use the word professional, because let's not be stupid.
Family friendly, I guess.
PG-13 instead of whatever the hell
This.
we are here, yeah.
Well, and tomorrow we have a guest on Tuesday Tunes.
We do. Bob Eisenstein of Victor Sierra will be joining us. And I am going to see if we can get Stephanie on Thursday for this
that'll
Thursday
be good.
for VIP, yeah.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh.
What are you oohing about there, Elizabeth?
I still can't get over you can hear me. I have no microphone plugged in.
It's
I
the
don't
one
know
off.
what's going.
It's the
And
one
you're
off
on
your
mute.
camera. There we go. Look at Des join in with the right tone for the evening. Bugger off, you scallywags. Yeah, it's been that kind of day, Des. How you doing, man?
Can you hear me now?
You have good teeth.
Yeah, that's the microphone.
That's it. Yeah.
I have to say it's rump roast.
Is it medium rare or well done?
This is better. Or like this.
Get the fuck away from the camera. What's wrong with you?
Oh, it'd be shorter to say what's right.
Yeah, but less people find that entertaining.
That's true.
That's right. Okay, and Bob says that was hit for him. So, Kevin, how you doing on your food? You almost done? Okay, don't shovel too quick. I mean, don't rush for our account. Guys, this is going to be the show tonight. We are absolutely going to talk on topic, and Kevin, being a professional chef, we're going to pick his brain. We will be... What, Andrea?
I was going to say, we're starting the show with them eating.
There we go.
And then we'll talk about cooking. See? We are on topic.
Yeah, we totally planned this.
Nah.
100% cheer for that one. Oh,
Maybe that's my thing, right?
it's. I was on Twitch earlier today, and my channel was hosting somebody. I don't even know who they are, but whatever. And yeah, she was eating. It wasn't eating stream. She was gaming, but she was also eating, and she wasn't like monstrous eating. It wasn't all like. But there was the whole. Just the occasional noises where as I was doing something else, and I looked up. I'm like, what the fuck? She can't close her mouth all the time. Only part of it. So yeah.
Did you throw some bits her way?
No. Des got a sinus infection and still in the boonies. Oh, it's unhappy Des. Hey, thank you, Des. Hey, Des. Hold on. We'll start.
Everybody hold your bits. We're going to do a train.
Yeah, we're
going to
start it right. Kevin, we're just waiting on you. Let us know when you're ready. As long as you got bits left over to cheer when we do the train. Madame Gandalf. No, it wasn't Madame Gandalf. I like her a lot. And I like this
No,
other
I like her
person
too.
But no, Madame Gandalf was not eating on camera and smacking her lips. It was some other chick. It's thanks
Let
to
me know when I have bits
Okay.
set up to go.
I just want to let poor Kev finish eating since he works in a restaurant and couldn't eat all day.
How many
You don't
bits
pick
do we
off
need to get ready?
what I'm telling everybody, in case you jumped in late, Twitch has a thing for their affiliates where if you send them a video of like bit explosions or subscription trains or whatever, they'll feature you. Basically, they go, "We like that one. We're going to do that." So I'm asking you guys to get your bits ready. I'm going to say go, and I'm going to just talk like it's normal, and then I will clip that bit. No pun intended. As for how much, the bottom line is if you have 50, I'd rather you throw 10 5s than 150, just so it's this continuous stream of people throwing bits. And the bit cup exploding, splashing, and all that good stuff. So, I don't even... No, it wasn't Toei either. It wasn't. Did you broadcast today? When did you?
She did. I watched her a little bit. Remember?
That's right. Was that today? I don't know. It's been a weird...
It was. And then my internet messed up, so...
See, I went to bed at 4:30 after making this thing that you guys will get to see in a little bit here. And then I got up at 5:30 to take my son to school, and then we came back and we slept for another couple hours, got up and did some stuff, took another nap. It was just one of those weird days.
It's because I'm sick, and I'm like, let's take a nap. I need a nap.
Wiggle that tip jar. That's what I have tattooed above my ass. Tip jar.
Just a tip.
Okay.
And I'm back.
Okay. Elizabeth, you ready, my darling, my dear? Okay,
Ready.
everybody
Ready, handsome man.
Okay, I'm going to count to
Let me
3,
know when.
and then we're going to talk about tonight's topics, and you guys just start bombing us. So everybody get your bits ready. 1, 2, 3. So on tonight's show, Kevin is a professional chef, and we're going to talk about cooking, including a great recipe. Well, thank you for that. Oh, look at those. We got them coming in. But we're going to talk about... Kevin gave me a great recipe for cooking steaks. It's very basic, but we're going to have that also. Oh, thank you, Lady Skipper. Thank you. Oh, no. Here's you guys. Appreciate that. That's awesome.
You're awesome.
You're
Ted's
amazing.
joining in. Look at them. I am pulling the train here. Oh, my God. Look at those. We started out as zeros on there, and we got 218, 200, 110 on the... There's a little more from Dez.
Oh, damn, Skipper's in there. They're running a train on you tonight, Travis.
It is. Let's see if they can fill the glass. Look at them just following that glass there. Thank you, Tony. We'll just hold up the patch for the splash. There it is right there. There's Dev. I don't know if Desnall has ever done a round number.
No.
It depends on whether you're talking about bits or not.
Yeah, you do it. That's right. Threesomes ain't round. Oh, look at Des go. Look at that. There's a
You guys are
420.
awesome.
Thank you. 106 from Des.
Oh, we spilled
Oh. Thank you, Bob. There's 100 from Bob. Oh, look at that explode. Oh, my God. It's everywhere. That's great. That's a good splash. 69, see?
Definitely.
Devnall just did it. Here's to you guys. And it has totally filled up the chat all the way up with just bits. Look at that. That's beautiful. Here's to you guys. You guys are fucking awesome. I should
I'll drink to that. Cheers.
Ah.
Your face is awesome.
Mm. It's still going 222. It's I appreciate all that, guys. I love to see that splash. That's fun when it fills up. There it goes again. I guess it's the high bit amount that make the explosions and the splash. That's kind of
Because
cool.
they're probably bigger. They get bigger bits.
Yeah, they do.
It's hard to have an explosion that large without at least a little bit of splashing.
And it's got to be pretty big to do that. Set off that kind of reaction. You guys are
Splash
awesome.
a bit. There's a head in the cup.
Now I'm having this OCD moment if I want to go and count all the numbers to see where we're at. I think the easy way is if you go up to the list and click the list. Thank you, Devnall. Yeah, you can see all the numbers and it reset today. So There we go. I like the little rings around your guys' names when you're on like the top 3 cheers. You get the little ring around the cheer rubber.
That's awesome.
Oh man, that was great. Thank you guys. Thank you for supporting us and being here for us. We loves you all platonically. Don't get any ideas, Bob.
Oh,
love
she's
you
drawing
all.
on the board.
I love you all, and I'm 3,500 miles away from most of you, so feel free to get all the ideas you want. If you're dedicated enough to track me down to my door, I'm dedicated enough to cave in.
Cave in. That sounds like something we should see on a Urban Dictionary.
Mm.
You looked like a cave in. But it didn't stop me from spelunking in her.
I was deep in the guano. The smell was incredible. Oh. Why do we do these things?
I'm gonna,
They're still going. You guys are awesome. I don't know
So
what
for
else to-
cooking, are we going to talk about
Oh, right.
favorite recipes?
Totally
Because
distracted.
we should talk about Kevin's spotted dick.
Oh, it came right out of my face. That was awesome.
Wow.
like,
Good.
can I just get
Shoot
Can I
back.
just get clarification? Did you just say my spotted dick came straight out of your face?
No, but I will. if I
Okay.
get the bit.
Highlight that.
Yeah, there was an explosion of bits right on my face on the screen. It was.
Well, either way, we're clipping that.
Mhm.
Because that's funny. Yeah.
And for the censors out there, spotted dick is a British recipe that includes
It is.
raisins
It's-
and a penis.
No.
It can include both if you've got a dodgy chef.
Don't mind the whipped cream on top, ma'am.
It's more
What is
like
spotted
extra
dick
thick
made out of?
custard. It's a steamed pudding, essentially. So it's a steamed sponge pudding that has fruit embedded in it, normally raisins and sultanas.
Happy
It's
little.
normally served.
So it's like a cube then?
Well, it's normally cylindrical because the old-fashioned method of it is that the mix is quite wet before it's baked. So it's like a wet, sloppy cake mix. And then you put it inside greaseproof paper, twist the ends to make it into a cylindrical sausage shape, wrap it in foil, and then you put it inside a container with water in, and you steam bake it inside the oven.
This sounds
Oh,
like a
I've
filthy
never had it.
conversation.
It's like a bit like the old-fashioned cheesecloth puddings, where you used to put the mix inside a muslin cloth and then just twist the top and sit it inside a bowl and then bake it.
You
Similar
can't
to
say
that.
Muslim
Never
cloth
done
Anybody
that
anymore.
either.
I was just going to
If anybody would like the recipe for my spotted dick, it has famously been immortalised in the most excellent book, Steampunk for Simpletons, available still to buy now on Amazon.
Which, if you scroll down below the video chat, you will see I have the books available for sale, including Steampunk for Simpletons. I love this.
Is
They
there cream
haven't.
on top of the dick?
They haven't
sorry.
stopped. Oh, by the way, I think the cylinder usually is upright as opposed to laying down, so it's less of the cranberry roll, more of the dog food out of the can look.
Everyone's.
Whatever.
Either or.
Oh, I'm
Is
sorry.
it is there like a sauce or
I-
cream on top?
We normally serve it custard.
Oh,
There's
okay.
raisins in it, so it's spotted.
You guys, cultural difference. Do you guys refer to that as custard?
Oh, we refer to
Creme
custard as
anglaise?
custard.
What do you?
Oh, no. I don't think so. I'm just looking at the chat screen that will, it's just bits. I need cooler bit shapes. Like some people have
I've
bits like
been using.
robots and stuff.
I've been doing like all the other ones. See?
That's a pretty bit explosion there, Devnal. Your 9 bits just went blah.
Oh, I'm all out of bits. Sorry.
See,
Am I-
custard to us in the U.S. is like ice cream, which is, yes, that's what I think of as custard.
Hey, what? Hey,
Yeah.
what?
It's a really buttery, creamy ice cream. It's like the high-quality ice cream.
No.
Yes, it is.
And so it begins.
I like Lady Skipper says they have steampunk for simpletons, so obviously the skippers are already familiar with my dick.
Yeah, they
have
are.
seen it many times, no doubt. I'm trying to think if anybody who is hanging out on the show has Andrea has an article in there of a DIY thing. Kevin has 2 things in there, including a recipe, as well as a whole section about Victorian cooking.
I have a thing on how to make spats in 4 easy steps.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's still my best-selling book. It looks like a top hat with pock marks. It's like a top hat with acne there.
It's okay.
What is the thing in the corner?
I think after the break, during the break, I'm going to go get some of the cupcakes I made last night to show everybody my shitty creation.
That's a good idea. And this week in history, hey, does somebody want to volunteer for taking over that, or shall I just read it off?
Well, I can't really open another tab. I have my weird news.
I could do it. So hold on. Des says, watch out for that spotted dick. I can smell nasty if you leave it out too long. Or it can smell nasty, sorry. Not I can smell
I
nasty.
find after 2 to 3 days of remaining unattended, Desmond, it also has a tendency to go green around the edges.
Ew. Ian says, I just started watching Townsend's on YouTube and have been trying out some of their pudding recipes from the 1700s. By the way, there is a show on Netflix, guys, called Nailed It. So all these things you've seen where they're like, oh, we're going to make this beautiful cake. Here's what we ended up. And it's a meme and it says Nailed It. It's a show based on that. Only 6 episodes, but terribly amusing.
Can I just make a request because I'm really lazy? The people who are referring to these Townsend videos, they sound really interesting, especially since I'm a bit of a fan of old food recipes. Can someone throw me a link up?
Look at that explosion. Thank you, Devnall. Thank you, Tall Sally, Elizabeth, and everybody else who's throwing the bit.
I like it when they explode.
Where's Bob?
I like it when they explode from my face.
All these comments about spotted dick and nothing from Bob. Bob, you need to say goodnight when you're leaving, man.
Bob?
You can't just leave. We really find you entertaining.
I'm taking my life into my hands tonight, by the way. I'm going to break the household rule my wife has about not smoking cigars in the house.
Ooh. Close the door, turn on a fan, crack a window.
Turn on a fan? Okay, if anyone out there would like to nominate themselves as the fan who wants to be turned on tonight.
He'll read whatever you want as long as you throw your 4-bit at the screen.
I'd also, at a particular juncture, like to put in a particular thanks to Travis and Andrea, who sent me this particular cigar.
Oh, yeah. Have you kept it humidified?
I have indeed kept it humidified, yeah.
Yeah, that little pack she sent you. Face shot equals money shot.
Oh, and Kevin, if that pack dries out...
Yeah, you can rehydrate it, can't you?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, you don't
I have those in my little...
Yeah, just throw them in a piece of plastic Tupperware Rubbermaid type thing with a small cup like what you put mayonnaise in on the plate for the Americans who show up, full of water, top it off, and give it 48 hours and it rehydrates.
Yeah.
But before any purists give me shit, by the way, I don't have any matches. So.
I don't use matches.
I use a torch lighter.
I have a torch lighter also.
I'm not patient enough to use matches to light my cigar. I've done it. You guys are still going. You are awesome.
That's fabulous.
Thank you guys. Appreciate that.
Do you smoke cigars, Elizabeth?
I do on occasion.
Oh, I have some great ones. I'll have to give you a couple.
I look
They
forward
smell
to the
awesome.
day when we bring Kevin over here and we get a group shot of all 5 of us together with cigars.
And in order of height.
So it'll be Kevin, Elizabeth, Ed, Travis, Andrea.
Hey.
And the kitties.
Oh, like we're going to get 8 cats in the picture. Yeah.
Well, we have a picture with Kevin and Greg and Flick when we went over there.
Ooh, the cup is
There you
full.
go.
Hold on. The cup is full.
Oh,
Somebody
the
drop a larger amount in there and see if it explodes. I don't know how big it has to be. I think 10,000 would do. Is it too obvious? Let's see if we can make this baby blow. Thank you, Bob. Bob got the first half. He got 10. So let's see here. Let's see who blows the top off the joint. And then we'll actually go into our 5-minute break because, we've been working hard. You're gonna
I'm very excited for this.
I just clocked the time. It's amazing. I
Here
must
comes-
turn up late more often. The
Here
show
comes Sally
bye-bye.
with 50 and Devnall with 100. Let's see what it does. Let's see if this does it. Here comes the... Okay. So here comes the purple from Devnall. Boom! Splash.
We're watching
Waiting.
a cup. We're watching Binary
I
Good.
saw it. Okay, guys. We're going to take a quick break here. I have a special treat for you guys on break. So if all of my co-hosts will be kind enough to mute themselves...
Well, except for Elizabeth, because she'll never get back.
Don't, yeah, Elizabeth, don't touch anything. If you yell over it, it's no big deal. We don't care. So, okay, guys, 5-minute break. Go take care of what you got to take care of. We'll be right back. Sit right back and relax, or get up and get a drink and refill what you have, while the cast and cohorts and co-hosts of Talk of the Tavern do the same. And here's the testimony of some of the great people we've had on Talk of the Tavern or previously on Sound of Steam. Enjoy.
This is Gail Carragher, author of The Finishing School and the Custard Protocol series, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern.
This is Aiden Sivart, Steampunk Indiana Jones.
Hey, this is Scott.
This is Samantha.
And we're Frenchie and the Punk.
I'm Karen Kay, also known as the Fairy Lady and editor of Fae Magazine and also founder of Fairy Events.
This is K.W. Jeter, author of Infernal Devices and Fiendish Schemes.
Kircher here. I play Bifur in the Hobbit trilogy, and you are listening to Talk of the Tavern.
This is Trevor Crafts, executive producer and creator of Lantern City.
This is Lord Bobbins of Teslacon. Huzzah!
Steampunk Funk Bizarre here, Lord Monty, right in front of your radio.
Hello, this is Professor Elemental. When I'm not taking a bath in gin or trying to invent a new kind of batter, I'm listening. Oh, yes.
This is Stephen Davis of Raising Steam UK, 2-day steampunk festival in Reading. Enjoy.
I'm Thomas Williford of Brute Force Studios, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern.
This is Commander Bob of Victor Sierra.
Je suis la légendaire princesse convertie de Victor Sierra.
Hi, my name is Sarah from Valentine Wolf.
Hey, this is Braxton from Valentine Wolf.
This is Aileen the Peacemaker, the founding editor of Beyond Victoriana, the multicultural steampunk blog.
Hey, this is Joseph C.R. Vortek, otherwise known as Electro Swing Neo Vintage DJ Vortek, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern. I hope you come out of it in one piece. I'm not sure I did.
And don't forget about our other shows during the week. Tuesday, Middle Age Gamers on Wednesday, and Virtual International Pub VIP on Thursdays. Make sure you join us there, 1 p.m. Eastern to 4 p.m.
Hi, my name is Ashley Rogers. I'm the organizer of the Copper Claw.
This is Calamity Dawn, mixologist of Airship Passepartout.
This is Commodore Lorpicar of Lost Saints Curiosities.
This is Jimmy Diggs of the Crypto Historians, reminding you that the future is in your hands.
This is Gabrielle Reel.
Hi, this is D. Clarence Snyder, writer of the Bright Future series, and you are listening to Talk of the Tavern.
This is Professor Marcus O'Bannon, the Chief Scientific Investigator for the Crypto Historians.
This is Lady Gatita of Nerdvana.
Hey, this is Angie Bello from Ghostfire.
This is Hannah Titania, Queen of the Fairies.
This is Jeff Platt of Highland Steamworks.
This is Danielle Ackley McPhail, co-author of Baba Ali and the Clockwork Gin, and you are listening to Talk of the Tavern Radio.
Hi, this is John R. White, author of The Tales of the Airship Neverland.
This is Catherine Gleason, author of Anatomy of Steampunk, The Fashion of Victorian Futurism.
This is opera singer Katie Cat.
This is Keith Prusak of Bad September.
This is Captain James Barrington of the mighty Claxton.
This is Emily Leverett, and I'm the editor of Big Bad and Anthology of Evil, Volumes 1 and 2, and you are listening to Talk of the Tavern.
Hola Radio Escuchas, les habla Lady Smoke de Sociedad de Steampunk Argentina y Sindicato Dieselpunk.
This is Melanie Grace with Live Steamy.
We are Warren and Betsy Talbot of MarriedWithLuggage.com.
This is Christopher Meeker, author of Hawthorne, Chronicles of the Brass Hand.
This is Mickey Wonderland, Steampunk Fairy Princess of Wonderland with a fresh cup of Mad Hatter tea.
Hi, this is Margaret McGraw, author of the prompt writing blog WritersSpark.com, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern.
Hello, this is Mishkin from Bird Eats Baby.
This is Nim Derringer of Airship Hypatia.
This is Painless Parker.
This is Persephone Burroughs Dimebagger, co-captain of the Airship Hypatia.
This is Psyche of Psyche Corporation.
Ahoy, me darlings.
This is Misty Massey, author of Mad Kestrel, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern.
I'm Ellie Ann from Steampunk Homes, author of Slice of Life and The Silver Sickle. Hope you enjoy the show.
This is Captain Jared Cornwall of the Melanie Rose.
Hi, this is Lucy Luminos with Tinker the Web Series.
This is Travis Fessler, the steam-powered circus freak from the Pickled Brothers Circus.
This is Scott Norman of The Wars of Other Men.
I'm Mr. Cat of the Cat in Black Art, and you are listening to Talk of the Tavern.
This is Wendy Callahan, author of The Cronus Clock.
This is Daniel Burrow, creator of Tefra, the steampunk role-playing game, Cheers and Gears, and Good Gaming.
This is Tempest Wolf, actor and producer of Tinker Web Series. Tinker by name, Tinker by nature.
This is Shelley Dusick, the captain of Vandalia Con, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern.
Did you know Talk of the Tavern also publishes books? Make sure you look us up online. We're on Amazon.com.
This week in history.
Okay, there we go. That was our refill break video that I made for you guys. So, gives you guys something to watch when we're up and away. And Kev, I was just letting you know you could actually hear the video of Young Muted Twitch. There is sound to it. So
I did indeed catch the end of that.
I want to thank Madame Gandalf for giving me the hint of how to make that happen and how to do that, how to add it to what we already do. I really appreciate that. And everybody, if you have feedback, you're not going to hurt my feelings if you're like, oh, hey, this was my first try. So it will get better and there will be more made in the future. And they might be something as stupid as a cat video compilation. I haven't decided. But this lets you know some of the people we've had on. This is not all the people we've had on. We have literally had hundreds of guests. Which, by the way, we're going to have Rod Belcher on, which if you haven't read his books, published by Tor, Steampunk Books. Andrea's in here instead of her room. What's up?
It takes me so long to boil water. I'm waiting.
Oh, she's boiling water. So, we cut off your head. You want to... It's just boobs. I know some of them are happy.
Here you go, Bob.
But anyhow, Madame Gandalf, thank you for that heads up, that hint. Talking Toei, if you want to know how to do it, if that's something that's handy to you, let me know. I am more than happy to share. And I didn't have video, but what I'm going to start doing when I'm going to conventions and see these folks, I'm like, look, give me a 3-second video of going, I got toasted at Talk of the Tavern.
More than once.
Yeah. Well, and there's something else I needed from you guys too. Elizabeth, you are a celebrity in your own right, so absolutely need to put you in that rotation, even if I make 2 or 3 of these videos. So,
you got it. I'm going to do it all over New York for you. Buddy.
Oh, that especially like an empty car. I actually thought about taking that video you posted today of you in the empty train car and going, if I can get her to mention Talk of the Tavern in that instance. Waiting for Talk of the Tavern to open.
I'll do it from now on.
Eventually, I'll have a video of just here's 5 minutes of 4-second clips of Elizabeth doing stupid shit of mentioning Talk of the Tavern. It's Kevin. That's your job too. You got a smartphone. Oh, that's a topic I want to bring up on a later show. I want to discuss how smartphones are breaking our society. There's more interesting things besides that 1.5 hour conversation we had, but we'll bring that up. Okay, let's go into this week in history, and let me scroll down to it. So, 88 years ago this week, Twinkies were invented.
Wow.
Is that all? Yeah. That's the American version of Spotted Dick.
They're still edible now.
Yep.
First batch is still for sale. 31 years ago, an American classic aired on TV for the first time ever. Something we still hold dear to our hearts because we can't get away with it anymore. Married with Children premiered. Which I went and watched that. Clips of it on YouTube about a month or 2 ago and went, wow, we so couldn't get away with that shit now. Then I made Andrea watch South Park, where they talk about basically censorship and whatnot too.
PC. It was really boring.
Yeah, it was like Principal PC and Vice Principal Strong Woman, and yeah. 32 years ago, Andrea's favorite, because she likes to follow the dot, Knight Rider premiered.
I want Knight Rider. I want that car.
This was the formula of the 80s. If you had an hour-long show, you had the same plot every show with 4 bad jokes. And, yeah, whether it was A-Team, Dukes of Hazzard, or Knight Rider, same plot.
As long as you throw in a couple car chases, crashes, and 1 slow-motion jump.
There you go.
Yeah.
And 1 hot chick in short shorts or a tight shirt. Your option.
Can I, if we're going to mention these shows, can we not sideline like Street Hawk and Airwolf? Because they were both awesome.
Airwolf was another one. How about Automan?
Yes. How about Manimal?
Oh, God.
Now, here's a fun fact. 45 years ago, the first cellular phone was made.
Yeah, they had that. The government had it.
Well, something you don't realize is we had remote controls for our television since the 40s. We had wireless since the late 60s. They just weren't popularized and available like they are now.
In the early 70s.
Well, if you look at the old commercials for car phones, they're like $1,500. In the 80s, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
A lot of money now.
In the early, as early as the late 1970s, early 1980s, my parents had a remote control for the TV. It was called throwing a shoe at the back of my head.
Now that was called
Turn
fun.
over.
Yelling at you to change the channel also was. Well, that was the extra edition.
I only had 3 buttons to choose from, so.
And 28 years ago, bad boys, what you gonna do?
What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
Martin Lawrence and Will Smith first premiered in Bad Boys in theaters.
Isn't like aren't we imminently on the doorstep of like the latest version? They're bringing another one out, aren't they?
They are.
Make money, they'll bring it out.
I've heard something about this.
Presumably, bad boys when their wives let them be.
Well,
Martin Lawrence is selling his house that's here in Virginia.
Oh yeah, how much?
Like $8.5 million.
Yeah.
Oh, let's put it on the wish list.
What
That'll
else
be our
has
new
he
studio.
done since his series failed?
Hmm?
Okay, I
Say
think
that
we're done.
again?
What else has Martin Lawrence done since his series failed? Yeah, exactly. Moving on from that question. Now, Will Smith. Okay. Okay. The fact that he has a house he can sell for $8.5 million says something above my little fucking cowtown place.
He may have a couple houses, but you know, he used to do stand-up, so maybe he's doing the comedy scene again.
Well, also, if anybody ever gets rich, and I'm looking at us, it's a matter of, yes, you spend a little bit of money, but you invest a lot more. So when your income stream trickles down to a 70-year-old man's bladder problem, you still have money coming in.
Diversify your portfolio. That's the way to go.
Hold on a second. I've got some comments here I want to read. Scrolling up. Talking Toey said the video is a good idea. Let's see. Skipper says, love it. Need a little more volume on the initial intro, but the volume on the clips was... Yes, anytime you hear my voice, that volume is low. I didn't bring that volume up because I played the clip. It sounded fine. Al Bundy for Prez. Cigars are phallic symbol, boys. They are not phallic symbol, Bob. They are straight up phalluses. Watch the camera, please. Oh.
Okay.
Oh. Okay? They are just straight up fucking dicks, okay? Put them in your mouth, smoke them, and love them. 3 hubcaps from my 82 Trans Am in the garage. You know, if it ended with I have 3 hubcaps in the garage, there would have been a joke there. The fact that they're from your Trans Am? No, you're our age. Devnal, speaking of which, I need to talk to you, and you can answer right in chat if you want. Do you want to be on the show, man? Because you supported the Kickstarter in such a means you chose a reward level of this down here. but you added to it. It came out up here. If you want to be on the show and hang out for the 3 hours, it's supposed to be on the show for 20 minutes, but we like you a lot. So, yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah,
on
we
the full
do.
episode.
We do now. Of course, we've never had you on the show. We might kick you off after this one.
We might be like, I'm sorry,
difficulties.
technical issue.
What is that? I can't see what she's drawing down in the corner there.
And by the way, Bob, Kit was a Kit car. It was a built blend of like a couple different cars. BJ and the Man. I remember BJ and the Bear. So I don't know what you just wowed
Some
about.
bears are men.
Oh, awesome. Okay, look, drop me an email. I know you got the address. We'll figure it out. We'll either bring you on a show we already have set up, or if you have time during the week, you could be on one of the other shows during the week, or whatever. Yeah, bud, you're welcome. We'll call you Devnall the whole time so they don't know you're actually the Prince of England. What, Kev?
Back a bit. Don't be trying to sneak him in on one of the shows in the week I can't make it to.
Actually, you're always welcome. We can always bring any of you guys on during the week if you have the day off. So that's that, especially with VIP, Virtual International Pub, where we're bringing in our international guests. Yeah, so... Okay, back to This Week in History. Where the fuck is it? Okay, we got...
Shit happened, y'all.
Oh, yeah, I totally forgot that shit happened, y'all. Thank you, Elizabeth. How come you didn't yell that in the beginning?
I didn't think of it.
Just now. Andrea, do you have some weird news?
Yes, I do.
Look
Here
at
you
the
go. I'm
cat
sending the
drinking
link
her
to
tea.
everybody.
Look at the cat drinking.
The cat's eating something.
She wants in here, so I had to let her in. All right.
She's 17. Almost legal,
Yeah,
Bob.
she's old as hell.
You want an 18-year-old pussy? Almost there, buddy.
Poor Vigneron. Okay, not the Golden Arches. Mom's embarrassed after son unwittingly wears an X-rated T-shirt with slogan, "I'm loving it," to school, and he says he thought it was like McDonald's. No. I put the link in there. You can see this kid. He's in elementary. It is women's legs, like in the
M
arches.
Like they're laying on their back, and they brought their knees up, feet flat on whatever surface they're on. Bob, take
And
a
it says,
moment,
"I'm
stop
loving it."
typing, and enjoy this concept. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Go ahead, Bob. What, Andrew? What? So this mom finds this perversion, literally and
The
figuratively, of the McDonald's symbol and sends the kid to school dressed in it.
No, she does not. Okay. This happened in Texas. And the school called, to say, hey, your kid's wearing this. She didn't realize what her kid was wearing. Really? First of all, really? She said that she got a bag of hand-me-downs from a family friend. She didn't go through them. The kid put it on thinking it was like McDonald's and went to school. She's now going to go through everything. He looks about 7. Do you let him just get up and go to school by himself? Do you not look at him and acknowledge him before he leaves the house? Really?
Here's the
Come on,
bottom
people.
line. White trash will white trash. That's it. That's it.
Well, my concern is, didn't you at least do the laundry when someone gave you free clothes?
No. She didn't even go through the bag.
That
She's
could have
like,
been
"I'll
all
do
their
that
old
tonight."
sex rags or something.
Well, that one might be.
Well, no, I don't
Well, the
think it
thing
was
is that-
because it didn't have a hole in the middle of the golden arches.
Well, and the thing is, if it fit this elementary school kid, who wore it before? Was it this friend's kids?
It was probably the friend's mother when she was out working the corner.
Oh, because
Now, have you
loving
been
it.
to Spencer's recently? It's a store in the mall.
We love
Kevin, if you
Spencer's.
don't have them anymore.
They don't have that.
They used to be known for, I remember it was probably the late 80s, early 90s. They'd
Salt
have
bombs.
fart spray.
Oh, yeah.
or maybe kind of a nudie card. Nothing too bad. Now it's
They sell
shocking,
vibrators.
shocking what they have. Yeah. Oh, God, a whole wall.
Happy Meal joke. Thank you, Toey.
Not the ones I prefer. Oh, but
Well, these Happy
No,
Meals
you
have a
gotta go
happy
to the
ending.
reputable. reputable store downstairs, right?
By the way, you know what? We're in the middle of current events. Let's talk about this. Elizabeth, Andrea, you guys ignored the comment from Bob. Do you have any issues with comments like that? Oh, did you not see it? Daydreaming of Elizabeth and Andrea feeding each other cannolis. And now I'm asking this, Bob, don't go anywhere because
I didn't see it.
How much are you willing to put up, Bob?
See there you go. And Bob, that's what I wanted you to hear. Like I said before, if there's what you say is fine.
I didn't see it.
If there's an issue, they will let you know. If they're if they're worried about it, they'll let me know. But so
Maybe for your birthday.
you're our one dirty old man. And you keep it reasonable and you shut it down when it gets to a certain point, and we're good with that, buddy. So yeah, don't hesitate. As new people come in, we will not let them talk that way probably, but
It's only because you're 0.4% black.
That's right. It's not chlamydia clams. I don't even know what the hell you're talking about, Des. Where did chlamydia clams come in?
What the hell?
Once
It's
again,
cannolis.
we're called humankind. Let's be kind to each other. And, if that's how you roll, that's how you roll.
You know what, though? A filthy joke can be kindness, especially if everybody is laughing about
Absolutely.
it. Guy walks in
But
day one, starts dropping those jokes. It's a different world.
Oh.
What I mean is, I'm not gonna crack a joke. Let's see if it's funny. I'm not gonna be a jerk and just I'm so offended. I get enough of that. Let's have fun.
I came in as size
This is
as
a
well.
tavern.
Right.
This is not school.
Which is why I said, something
Tavern.
else I've noticed about Bob. Anytime we don't respond to his comments, he doesn't go on. He drops it. He only keeps going if you encourage him. And that's a beautiful
It
thing.
says 0.4% not in the right place.
Oh. Wendy's never frozen fresh meat. Okay, and throw some bits for your comments there, Bob. We love that. Send you a link to chlamydia clams.
Yeah.
Don't send me a link to chlamydia clams. Oh.
What the hell? No, that's a no.
Okay, I noticed there's another link up here under Weird News to a YouTube video that I don't know what it is. And then a entry of, I guess I get to click on these, don't I? Let's see what Ed gave us.
Oh, hi, Michael.
I'm
Michael
willing to
House,
bet it
thank
wasn't-
heavens you emailed me a reminder. I would have forgotten my favorite show.
Hold on, Kevin. I'm going to pause here.
I was going to say whatever.
Uh-huh,
I was
go
going
ahead.
to say whatever Ed's left us. So I'm willing to guarantee it's not chlamydia clams.
Okay. Oh my goodness. You know what I'm going to do? I am going to just share the link. That's all there is to it. I can't watch this. It's a 4-minute video called Cooking with Cannibals.
Darn.
This is for you guys.
Oh.
I can't watch it on the show. Michael, dude, good luck. Okay, that's all. I'll back channel anything else after that. So now he also posted, Ed shared a link. This is uncyclopedia.wiki.com. How to, cook children. It has a picture of has a picture of Hansel and Gretel. It says, eat children, it's good for the environment.
Is it?
Children are the most wonderful dish. Children are known to be a bit chewy, but if you cook them right, they can become nice and tender.
Oh my
and
God.
Oftentimes a bit sweet. White children are known to be eaten on Thanksgiving instead of turkey. This helps turkey and helps the world get rid of kids and discover their great tasting meat. Children should always be washed and properly prepared before cooking. I myself eat kids. Just to be clear, I am quoting the website. This is not my personal journal.
Do not clip this.
It goes on into the history of it. Popular means of population control since primeval period, especially other tribes' kids. Often implemented by elderly women living in houses. I don't know where he found this. This is great. Some child eaters say that the legs are the best tasting part of the children, but I think the children's hindquarters are the great tasting. Might not seem right, but tastes good. To get a child hindquarters, find a child between ages of 3 to 9. Drag them into your home, then somehow attach the child to the roasting pan first, so his hindquarters are facing it. Oh, facing you. Then put stuffing up his hindquarters. Then take the
What
child
are you reading? This is for third hour. What the hell?
This must be written by a teacher.
Hold on. Des sent a photo. I'm curious what is about to pop up on my screen. Oh, it is chlamydia clams.
Well, they go with special fried rice, right?
I'm going back to comments here. Bob says, Travis, how can you make a statement when last week I saw a pickle coming out of a bearded clam? I think that was a shaved clam, sir. I'm not sure, though. But you did. Did you watch it on YouTube, Bob? Is that where you saw it? Because apparently there was an employee of yours on the show and didn't get harassed at all by you.
Yeah, you weren't here.
Michael says, Talk of the Tavern gives me hope for humanity. Dude, here's to that, because
really?
We're assholes, we laugh at shit we shouldn't, but the bottom line is, we make some fucking sense. Here's to
We're
that.
anything other than hope, I think. What the hell is that?
Oh.
It's rump roast.
Rump roast.
It's a child. I'm still working on it.
Oh, it tastes like chicken.
I love the pictures.
Yeah, that's why they went in the video. Because, yeah, absolutely. Okay, popularity. White children have been a popular dish for cannibals for years and are often served alongside a turkey dinner on Thanksgiving. 99% of all meaters also eat children.
I've eaten a kid before. That's a baby goat, right?
I'm eating nuts right now.
Yeah, you are.
In my mouth.
I don't know where Ed found
Devin
it.
once fed a chicken some chicken. That's cannibalism.
That's chickenablism.
I might
Jiggle them a little bit.
I might stick some plums in my mouth in a minute.
There's a whole section here on catching children. Traditional technique, candy technique, babysitter technique, Halloween
You
trick
need a
technique.
white van.
Well, I'm curious about this. Kindergarten harvest method. Yes.
You don't need a white van to catch a child these days. You just need a crate with a stick propping it up with a tablet underneath.
True story. Elizabeth knows. Turn on the blue screen. Watch them go. Oh. Internet method. Fun things to do before eating. Stick poking and tormenting. And there's a picture of fat kid cooking for dummies, and it shows a fat Asian kid in a pan with an apple in his mouth.
I'd like to challenge that last statement. The last thing you want to do with any kind of food, a child or not, is poke it with a stick just before you eat it. It's going to cause a massive adrenaline rush, causes all the muscles to tighten up. You're just going to get a really tough piece of meat at the end. What you want is the child to be really chilled out. Slip it a couple of Xanax before you finish it off.
Oh, I disagree. I think that could taint the meat as well. I say steady, either a cattle prod or a bullet right to the head. Knock them out instant.
While they're playing on their tablet, because they'll be happy.
While they're playing on their tablet.
Just give them a set of Beats by Dre hooked up to the mains electricity. Electrical current
You
straight
don't
across
need
the brain.
Beats by
Game
Dre.
over.
Those have been proven to be less quality material for a higher price because of the name. Go get the knockoffs. You'll be okay.
They put BBs in it to make them heavier.
They then have recipes.
Tell us more.
And I haven't read them all. Maybe we'll come back to this in the third hour, but here's jerky.
Oh.
What happened, Kevin? What happened? Steak?
I was just reading Navy Dad's latest comment. Massage your children like veal.
Feed them beer. And then...
Oh. Dessert child breakfast special. Put child to sleep, then dice finely fried bacon, eggs, mushrooms, or toadstools, and dice child together in a skillet. Serve with ketchup or Tabasco sauce, depending if you're American or cultured.
I like how it says American or.
Look,
I added get away with that.
Poo cookie.
There's Andrew's
It's
kitty
like
muffin.
chips. I made cupcakes and I pulled the batch out of the oven and I slipped and all of them fell back into the oven. I'm like, well, this is shit. So then I decorated them.
Okay.
Poo.
I'm going to
It
read.
reminds me of a joke. Ask me to tell you that later.
Go ahead.
In the
Go
third
ahead.
act.
Tell it now. Oh.
Okay. Oh God, I haven't told this joke in a while. A guy comes and he says, "Hey, Andrea, I came up with a new recipe with these cookies I've invented. Would you like to try one?"
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, one side is strawberry, and if you flip it over, the other side's banana. So Andrea takes a cookie. She says, "Hey, it's strawberry." I'm like, "Yeah, turn it over." "Banana! Oh, that's great. Yeah, it's fantastic." And then I say, "Well, I made some more cookies, but I don't know if you're ready for them." And Andrea says, Well, okay, what are they called?" And I say, "Well, they're pussy cookies." She said, "I don't know." I said, "No, try one. So she takes it. She goes, "Oh, this tastes like shit." And I said, "Oh, no, turn it over."
Oh,
Classic joke. Classic. Okay, so I'm going to read the last part of this, and then we're going to go on. So, cultivation. Genetically modified children were put on the market in the U.S. in the early 1990s. Research had great success in transferring genes from crabs to give them that little extra crisp. The first genetically modified child had to be turned into a vegetable in advance, but with technological advances, they have made it possible to improve children in the preferred functional state as well. Then there's quotes. "We don't like our children crispy, man." Quoted from a tripping hippie on Eco Children. Now, under Eco Children, we have hippies have started making children in a friendly way without genetic modification or pesticides. They also release the children to play outside once a year, which has led to a bunch of hippies dying because of the dirt on the children. Therefore, Eco Children being made illegal in most states except Texas. Then there's a few quotes. Texas on hippies dying says, quote, "We don't mind." And hippies tripping on children says, quote, "Children without pesticides make bad trips, man."
There's been a lot of stuff in the press recently about people who have a problem with GMOs, genetically modified orphans.
Good point. By the way, Des mentioned...
now we need that, but
There's the rim shot, yeah. Des says, or a mobile charging station. I don't know what you're referring to there, but Andrea and I went to Wawa today, which... Oh, yeah, I get it. Okay, Wawa, which is a great gas station, deli, awesome place in the Northeast. Thank you, Kevin. Now has Tesla electric car charging stations. I took a photo. I'm very pleased. Let's move forward. And instead of having fossil fuel burning things, let's have massive batteries full of chemicals that we then have to find a place to dispose of. Either way, we're moving forward and polluting the atmosphere in a different way. Problem still not solved.
That's someone's problem 150 years from now.
Oh, no, that's our problem in, like, I don't know. That's another show. Free-range children taste best.
Kick it down the road. Kick it down the road.
Devnall, the big, easy oiler turkey fryer will hold a 35-pound child. Bob asked, red or white wine with a well-cooked 12-year-old. Ooh, don't go 12. They're getting stringy and bitter. Social assassin, that's Kevin. But battered children come pre-tenderized.
Your mom.
You like that one, Kevin? Your mom? Ian says, you gotta know your meat. Don't want the kids on meds with all that shit in their system, especially the liver. Recommend a sweet side dish with kids, since most are bitter little sots. There we go. I see where... Okay. Back to... something. What do we got here?
Reality.
Oh, let's do some death. Speaking of cannibalism, let's see who
Is
died.
it all the kids?
Let's see if Stan Lee is still alive by this evening.
It's sad. He's like sitting there, and the people taking pictures with him. He's like a little old guy with just a blanket over him. He looks miserable.
He does.
Sad. He needs a nap.
What are we looking at here? We already got... Winnie Mandela went on the 2nd. So that's the wife of Nelson Mandela.
Who's that?
The wife of Nelson Mandela. Now let's move into birthdays. The famous people.
I have a shout out for a death.
What do you got?
This is a shout out for my very good friend Brenda.
Uh-huh.
Brenda, I'm sorry about your mom. I found out early this morning, and I'm currently lighting a candle and saying prayers as I said I would. So I can't wait to meet her on the other side and drink beer and hang out with God and everyone else. So, see you soon, Mom.
Here's to drinking beer, hanging out with God.
Cheers.
Here. I have a candle lit in the back.
Oh.
Yes, she does.
Careful there. Careful.
And a lovely tea set you have, too.
If you know what I mean.
You have the saucers. Does that make you a saucer?
Oh, yeah.
So, famous birthdays. April 10th, 1950. My favorite colonel of the... Oh, geez. Was it 1077? MASH unit. Actor Harry Morgan, also known as Colonel Potter from MASH, was born in April 10th, 1915. I didn't realize he was that old. Guess that'd be right for 1970s. April 10th, 1992, actress Daisy Ridley of the latest Star Wars trilogy fame. Who seems like a pretty decent person. I've watched a few interviews with her. I liked her.
How old is she?
Well, she was born in 92, so now we're looking at 27, 26. So, yeah, young. But I'd bring her on the show just because she seems decent. So, hey, somebody...
She seems fun.
Des, call Daisy and tell her we'd like her on. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Now, somebody who I don't really care to have on the show, though I like his newest show better than his original, April 12th, 1947, comedian, TV host, David Letterman.
Well,
Go ahead.
Yeah.
You ain't watching the damn show.
Maybe. Well, if you are, come on and complain.
Yeah. Convince us otherwise, David.
See, watching his show, I know why you don't like him, but then his new show, he comes off a little bit more down to earth and whatever. I saw him on Comedians in Cars getting coffee with Jerry Seinfeld. I'm like, yeah, no, I don't think I could hang out with him. He just seems...
Yeah, him and Howard Stern, both a bit of a dick, bit of a douche.
Well, no, Howard Stern,
help.
he's got some things going on.
He's got some issues.
It's
He does
sad.
have some issues. Last but not least, for the famous people, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, a.k.a. Sarah Michelle Gellar. Born on April 14th, 1977, so I think she just hit 41. So...
Still looks great.
She does, and I appreciate any star that I don't hear crap drama about. It's I want Matt Damon.
I'm the same age as her, and I can't say I've aged as well.
No,
I'm the same age as her.
Well, you're not the Slayer, man. You know, you're
This
the
is
Brit.
true.
You're not the Slayer.
I'm slaying this cigar, though. This is fucking lovely.
You enjoying it,
Which
man?
one is it?
Suck it.
What was it?
It's a pilon.
Well, it's a what? Because I don't think I sent you a peel. Oh, okay, that. Yeah, I'm sorry. In American, it's a pilon. But yeah.
Oh, okay.
Pilon in French, which it looks like it probably should have a Spanish accent. Pilon.
In French? A la piscine.
The fool. By the way, if anybody knows Matt Damon, I think Matt Damon, considering his public opinions, I think he could be a regular on the damn show. It's Elizabeth, I don't know if you watch him get in trouble on the news for saying the same shit we say here. But,
yeah.
Yeah.
We don't get in trouble because nobody knows us yet. Give it time.
That's right.
Oh, give it time. It's going to happen
And
sooner
then the
than
funny
you think.
thing is, like, the snowflakes will get upset and cry about us, and then we'll get the assholes that come on. They, like, racist, moron jerks, and we'll shut them down. And then we'll get this beautiful middle ground of what we already have.
People lost the art of conversation and disagreement. And it's fun to disagree because...
To a point.
You get to learn a little bit, you get to disagree and tease each other. And now everyone's offended. So they out-yelled you. They scream you down.
True. It's what was it, last week, the week before? Elizabeth and I totally didn't see eye to eye, but we had a good conversation, and we both got to state shit, which means we had a potential to learn something new.
That's
Because
right.
we shut up for a minute and listened.
And oftentimes I go research or look up what other people say and learn that way.
That's a good way to do it too. It's
Why not?
Birthdays this week. For my personal shout outs, I want two gentlemen, Mark Israel of MarsCon and Sean Durrington, who his Kickstarter should be ending soon, and I blasted
He's
it
going to be... Oh, yeah, he's going to be on one of our shows.
He is in...
Probably in July.
Jeepers. Give me a second. I'll pull up the date real quick. Oh my God, there's so many things up on my
It's
screen.
in July.
It's July? Really? That far out,
Is
huh?
it June? Is
I think
it
it's
May?
June.
I don't know.
I don't know. Give me a second.
June.
I'll tell you.
Usually I have that, but I did not right now.
It's, what are we looking at here? There he is. So it is June 4th. We're going to have him on. And we haven't picked a topic yet, but he's adorable and fun, drawing art, living the
Little
dream.
monsters.
And also had like heart issues, which made him basically, instead of going, oh, I need to work harder, he's like, you know what? I need to live the dream and do what I love doing. So here's to that shit.
Here.
Okay. I want to read some comments here, and then we're going to get back to the show. Kevin, I love what you just typed. I'll get to it in a second. So, organ meat of other... avoid the organ meat, the brains of other people. Okay, the brain, yes, avoid the brain. The organ meat is okay if cooked properly, but the brain definitely contains...
You got your 100 bits.
Do I need to pause while you say something, or can I keep reading comments?
Maybe, Dad. Cannoli.
Actually, he originally requested Andrea and Elizabeth please say cannoli in a slow, sexy way. Is 100 bits enough, or should he throw more bits so you both say cannoli in a sexy way? And I think sexy...
I need 100 bits.
Oh, okay, throw a little more. They'll both do cannoli. It'll
You can
roll,
do it.
Roll right
A little
out.
higher. Come on.
It'll roll right out of their mouth. I'll read comments.
Yeah.
Just one for Devnal as well. Devnal. These nuts.
Okay. Cannoli.
Am I supposed to do it with you? Okay.
I don't know. You ready?
1, 2, yeah.
Is it mutual cannoli or separate cannoli?
Whatever.
Ooh.
1, 2, 3.
Cannoli.
See?
I might need a couple of minutes. Hang on.
I'm looking forward to the next 5-minute break.
No. That's good. Save that. That'll be the ringtone.
Be like, that's a no. Cannoli.
Speaking of these nuts, I've forgotten all about my donuts.
These nuts, those nuts, whatever.
Oh, I would love a donut right now. Oh.
We're going to get some tomorrow at the store, right?
Yes, we
so
are.
Jealous. So
Tomorrow,
jealous, Kev. So
we
jealous.
have Bob Eisenstein.
Jealousy coming across the pond.
If anybody's available tomorrow, 1 to 4, jump in. We have hey Kevin, we have our French friend, Bob Eisenstein of Victor Sierra, which I think you'd actually like his music if you haven't heard it already.
I have.
What do you think of his music?
I love it, yeah. It's awesome. We've been playing that on the show for a long time.
We have, and now with how we have it set up, I can actually play the damn music on the show, which is beautiful. Me and the Bald Bishop are very happy. Devnal just came. Devnal, I'm curious, does your wife listen to the show also? Did she just...
I love the fact that Devnal put "I just came" followed by a picture of Bob Ross.
I was happy.
It was a happy little cum.
So, Kevin, happy little jizz. It's just a happy accident. Changed my pants. Kevin, we're going back to the topic now. We got about 20 minutes before we hit the third hour. So I'm curious. I have some questions for a professional chef. So, is it okay to cook without pants on?
I'll just phone out for one. Is it okay to cook without pants on? Are you talking in a commercial setting or in your own home?
Yes.
In your own home, sure, go for it. In a commercial setting, I really wouldn't advise it. Not only have you got the cross-contamination issue with hygiene, but trust me, hot spitting fat, exposed genitals, it's not a good mix.
Wow, you just described sex for me, or with me. Hot spitting fat and exposed genitals.
Presumably with an Oxford comma between each of those, yeah?
No. Is Oxford in England? Do they cook there? Quit getting off topic. What the hell?
No one in Oxford cooks. They get their servants to do it for them.
Nice. Okay, so let me ask you, what's the advantage of wearing the big mushroom penis-shaped hat, or is that just for people with dreadlocks to hide their hair?
It's somewhat outdated these days. Originally, it was in the age before extraction fans in kitchens, and essentially the idea was that the height of the hat allowed heat from the head somewhere to escape to while still keeping the head covered. Because a close-fitting skull cap just traps all the... Obviously, for those of you who know this, your skull is the hottest part of your body. It's where the most heat escapes from. So a close-fitting skull cap. Well...
The reason
anyway.
it escapes from there is because it's uncovered. Go ahead, Andrea. What?
Okay.
I know why they wear the hats, because that's where the rat is that controls their cooking.
Yeah, and there's that as well. Shh, stop giving away all our
Bob
trade
says
secrets.
you also hide your dope in it. And by the way, Devnall says it's just him, and it was a happy little non-accident.
Bob, I've never met a chef who bothered to hide their dope, quite frankly. In fact, yeah, this is a genuine true story. I won't name names, and I won't name establishments, so don't ask me. But we had a guest one night in a restaurant where I worked who had a dessert and called the restaurant manager over in an extreme panic because after 3 mouthfuls of their dessert, their entire face went numb. And they were really worried they were having an allergic reaction to something. What actually happened is the pastry chef had been chopping up lines of cocaine on the pastry section and had then put a piece of lemon tart down on the remains of his cocaine, served it up, and the guest had eaten it, and it had made their entire mouth go numb.
Wow.
I want to eat there.
No, let me
ask. What she's having.
You got to keep the customers coming back somehow.
And coming and going and coming and going.
What do you think? Stephanie just got home. Do you think I should try to invite her in for the cannibalism part of the show?
She wants to join us. We've still got an hour and 15.
Here's what we'll do. If it's heavy tech, I'm booting her. If it slips right in and fits fine, then we're good to go.
Here's my ode to Madame Gandalf. And she says, "You shall pass."
Yeah, she helped with the video. Gave him the link for the video.
I say bring her on because then she can field a couple of questions on cooking whilst I stuff my face full of donuts.
Actually, she says, no thanks, I'm beat.
Oh.
So that's understandable.
We miss her.
On air. Okay.
Next time.
I said we discussed it live and on air. Okay. So I will put that aside and quit paying attention to that. I think I could probably close down the Google Doc at this point.
Devnall just commented. Devnall commented, Deadpool would love all that snow. Devnall, I had a mate of mine who has a professional Deadpool costume come and do a fun day at my pub for Easter recently, and there were a whole bunch of other acts going on, like a professional magician, 2 bands, all kinds of stuff, and he was by far and away the most popular guy all day. He was supposed to be there for an hour, ended up staying for 3 hours, posed for hundreds of photographs with all the kids and the families, and it was an absolute scream. He's phenomenally popular.
No, you said who was that?
Because Deadpool is family friendly.
Oh, hell yeah.
That was Ryan Reynolds, or that was a chef?
No, that's it, neither actually. It's a friend of mine called Tony, and he's a cosplayer.
Oh, we have a request, Travis.
What do we got?
To zoom in on Elizabeth's board to see her drawing.
Oh, yeah. Elizabeth, why don't you tell me when you hit a point, and I will zoom in on it. But right now you're blocking half the board, so I don't want to take... Oh, okay, let's do this. There you go, Bob. Check that out. We got a pudding that looks like a top hat with the pox. We got a... Yeah. What is that, a light? Oh, it's a microphone. Okay.
It's a mic. It's not done yet.
And in the lower left, what is that?
This one?
No, the other left.
These are gremlins. They're going to be popping up because we've had nothing but gremlins all show.
True story.
And customers.
True stories.
This is Lady Gandalf. We want to thank her for hosting, and so
there we go. Well,
when she comes on, I have to watch her channel to get her face down and all that. I'll do better ones.
She's just adorable. She's a beautiful woman. Is really the bottom line.
And her.
So are you, Travis.
Stream is fun.
Thank you, Betty. You are too. There we go. We done with the fucking comments. Can we move on with the crap? Devnall, here's for your cheer. Thank you, buddy. Here, dear Dad, thanks for your cheer.
Shit. Eat the shit. Eat the shit. Eat it. Lick it. Lick the shit. You can do it.
By the way, for anybody wondering what the hell was that, Andrea's eating her poopy muffin.
Poopy muffin!
That sounds like a bad kink track, doesn't it? I'm going to eat the poopy muffin. Oh!
I think we came up with a good idea there.
No, I don't think we did. Desmond says, pastries now dusted in blow. You know what?
Yeah, it is.
I have no urge to go do cocaine, but if there was a cook I trust, Kevin, I would eat one of those just to give it a shot. Just so I could have a numb face and be like, Kevin, I just gotta...
I don't want to put stuff up my nose.
Yeah, it's kind of, yeah. But eating it, I know it'll take longer to hit, but whatever. Devnall gonna beat the devil out of that muffin. That's a black man talking right there, ain't it? That'd be great to just have sex and, hey, honey, tonight we're only going to use cooking terms.
In the
But
defense
see, and then there's Bob Ross.
In the defense of all of my, I was going to say, in the defense of all of my other fellow professional chefs around the world, I'd like to point out that not all of us have a use for or a problem with cocaine. Some of us smoke weed or developed a problem with alcoholism instead.
Hey, here's the alcoholism.
Yeah, I'll drink to that.
Hey,
it's
Elizabeth, for 50
my
bits,
drug of choice.
Navy Dad Bob wants to know if you will pay, if you can say wanker for
If
50
he throws
bits.
50 bits.
What do you say, wanker?
Elizabeth.
I think she'll do it.
Who, me?
Uh-huh.
For 50 bits.
Oh, yeah, I'll say it. How would you like it?
So first
He's
throw
gotta
the
throw his
bits and
bits
let
for
her
you to
know
say
how you
them.
like your wanker. Des says, on emos, you can donate for a chance to win a pink Deadpool. I saw that pink Deadpool suit, and I'm like, I would look hot in that if
That'd
they
be
have
cool.
it for fat middle-aged men. There's the 50. Now he's going to let
There's
us
your
know
50
how he
bits.
likes his wanker. Probably in the bush, just like most men.
By the way,
Not
Kevin,
all of
when
them.
you were posting the bus wanker comments, that was so funny.
Slow and sexy, Elizabeth. Go. Stage is yours.
Wanker.
Now do it high and nasty. You came out as this like grinding bleh. Yeah. Well,
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
dude,
gotta
you gotta
be
do
clipped.
Boy, it hurt my ears.
That's got to be clipped. That is funny as hell.
I'm impressed as a Brit. I'm impressed with your mastery of the wanker.
Well, thank you, sir. I was trained by the best.
I've been
I've
practicing
been
since I was a
raised to
teen.
where I could give up alcohol, but I will never give up my cup of tea. To the death. To the death. Oh, cheers!
So, as I said, years ago, I asked Kevin, because I love to cook, and though even as a teen, I was working at a restaurant, and I would go buy like swordfish steaks, bring them home and cook them with a vegetable and everything. I was like 14, 15 years old. This is what I was doing because I was fucking poor, and my mother took most of my money, but the money I had left, instead of just buying comic books and stuff, I would buy food and cook it, and I'd have people over. And my mother would yell at me, and I went, no, I paid for it. I gave you your money. I'm allowed to give food to whoever I want. This conversation is done. One of the few times I ever rebelled. Des, it'll actually be absorbed through the mucus things in your... Oh, stop. Anyhow. So I turned to Kevin, I guess a couple years ago, and I went, tell me how you cook a steak. Because I'm curious. I make a decent steak, but not a great steak. So, Kevin, I'm going to tell you what you told me, and you can correct the things that I've forgotten over the years. By the way, this same thing generally works for chicken breasts also, and pork chops, but to a lesser extent, because I tend to want to season my pork chops in something that I don't put any seasoning on my steak because I buy a decent cut of meat. And chicken breast, it's more of the side dish that goes with chicken. Though seasoning has a small effect, in my opinion. So, you take your skillet. You heat your skillet up, you put your oil in, you wait till your oil is nice and fluid, which for those of you that don't cook, there is a huge difference between you first put the oil in and 4 minutes later. You don't need
never ever put your oil in a pan, then heat it up. Heat your pan so that it's hot first, then put your oil in.
There we go. But yeah, you'll notice you need a lot less oil to coat that pan if it's already hot. It opens it up. Then I throw my wet minced garlic. I buy minced garlic pre-minced in a jar just because it's easier. Fresh is always better. And my onions or whatever I'm going to cook with that steak. This is what I season a decent cut of meat with. It is not any kind of powder. It is fresh garlic, onion. Throw them in. Just let them brown slightly before I throw my meat in. Have it on medium-high heat or just a touch below. Sear one side for about 60 seconds to 90 seconds, depending on the thickness of your meat. Flip it, sear the other side. Max speaks! Food, eat more comics. F food, eat more comics. I don't know what that means.
See,
I think he means fuck food.
Oh, eat more
I'm going to
comics.
say it for you, Max. You're
Been
far
there,
too
done
polite.
that.
This is my job, yeah. Fuck food, eat more comics.
Don't fuck the food. No, see, I got a second job just to buy comics.
And if you're going to eat comics, listen to their stand-up routine first.
Bob, to answer your question, how big of garlic and onion pieces, that is up to you. For me, it depends what I'm cooking, what shape I cut my onion into. Kevin?
Don't cut it too fine, especially if you're going to put it in before you pan fry the steak, or by the time you cook the steak, it's going to burn.
Well, that's the other thing. Once I put my steak in, I move all that partially cooked onions and garlic to the edge, throw the steak in the middle where your heat is. This way your onions and everything are still cooking on the sides, but they're not on direct heat. It's almost a wok philosophy at that point in time.
I'm really hungry now.
So once you sear those... Go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say, Devnal, I agree with you there, except for the use of cilantro, which doesn't actually exist.
Do you want to explain that, or shall I just disagree when I cook Mexican?
It's fucking coriander.
Is that the same thing? Coriander and cilantro?
Cilantro is just the name you Americans have come up with for coriander.
But we have coriander also. They're two different spices, seasonings.
Really?
Yeah.
The fuck?
We might have to Google something.
Yeah, we're going to have to look at that shit.
We'll have to send you some, Kevin.
Once you have both sides seared,
fine.
Once you have both sides seared, then you take a pat of butter. Again, the size of the butter depends how many steaks you're cooking, etc. At this point in time, I tend to flip the steak one more time, making sure, for me, the butter gets underneath it because I'm using the butter as much for a seasoning as anything else. And here you turn your steak down to about 30% power, so somewhere between medium-low and medium. And you're going to let this cook for however long you want your steak to cook. Now, all this can vary if you have a 1.5-inch thick steak versus a 1/2-inch steak. All of this varies. And that's pretty much it. You let it cook. When you're about 2 minutes till it's done, turn off the heat, take your skillet off the heat, it continues to cook, as well as calm its little meaty ass down.
So what you're saying with the meat size matters?
Very much so.
Everybody is invited over. I am striking up the grill April 28th for these ladies' birthdays. Go ahead, Elizabeth. You were shaking your hand at the camera. And Ian, I agree.
I do have a comment. According to Wikipedia here, coriander, also known as cilantro,
There we go.
or Chinese parsley, is an annual herb in the family Aplaceae.
Here we go. See,
Well, Von Hegner says coriander and cilantro are different parts of the same plant.
oh.
I suppose it's like when you order, yes, I like a Pinot Grigio at a restaurant, and they say, we only have Pinot Gris. Well, that's kind of the same.
Here we go. It's
Kevin, look.
When it comes to cilantro, I tend to only use fresh cilantro, and when I use it, it's always Des, absolutely. Boozer Cash is always welcome. And dude, if you don't get anything, show up anyway. The company
it's all
is
good.
a much better high than any Boozer Cash, unless if we're talking over $1,000. And really, stay home and send the money.
Hey, Kev, I just noticed you have a new camera.
No, actually, I'm using my
Better
old
lighting.
laptop. And the lighting's slightly different tonight.
Yeah, it's better lighting now. It looks great.
Was the camera
We
shipped?
can see you.
Andrea, was the package for Kevin shipped?
No, that will be this week because we had snow and I didn't want to leave the house.
Okay. Hey, guys, it is 5 minutes till the third hour. We are going to take our break. We will be right back, and we will go on with cooking tips from Kevin and cannibalism, because that's what we do. Be back.
Sit right back and relax, or get up and get a drink. And
Oh, there's oregano on the floor.
While the cast of cohorts and co-hosts of Talk the Tavern do the thing. And here's the testimony of some great people we've had on Talk of the Tavern or previously on Sound of Steam. Enjoy.
This is Gail Carragher, author of The Finishing School and the Custard Protocol series, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern.
This is Aiden Sivart, Steampunk Indiana Jones.
Hey, this is Scott.
This is Samantha.
And we're Frenchie the Punk.
I'm Karen Kay, also known as the Fairy Lady and editor of Fame magazine and also founder of Fairy Events.
This is K.W. Jeter, author of Infernal Devices and Fiendish Schemes.
Kircher here. I play Bifur in the Hobbit trilogy, and you are listening to Talk of the Tavern.
This is Trevor Crafts, executive producer and creator of Lantern City.
This is Lord Bobbins of Teslacon. Huzzah!
Steampunk Funk Bizarre here, Lord Monty right in front of your radio.
Hello, this is Professor Elemental. When I'm not taking a bath in gin or trying to invent a new kind of badger, I'm listening. Oh, yes.
This is Stephen Davis of Raising Steam UK, 2-day Steampunk Festival in Reading. Enjoy.
I'm Thomas Williford of Brute Force Studios, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern.
This is Commander Bob of Victor Sierra.
Je suis la légendaire princesse convertie de Victor Sierra.
Hi, my name is Sarah from Valentine Wolf.
Hey, this is Braxton from Valentine Wolf.
This is Aileen the Peacemaker, the founding editor of Beyond Victoriana, the multicultural steampunk blog.
Hey, this is Joseph C.R. Vortek, otherwise known as Electro Swing Neo Vintage DJ Vortek, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern. I hope you come out of it in one piece. I'm not sure I did.
And don't forget about our other shows during the week. Tuesday, Middle-Aged Gamers on Wednesday, and Virtual International Pub VIP on Thursdays. Make sure you join us there, 1 p.m. Eastern to 4 p.m.
Hi, my name is Ashley Rogers. I'm the organizer of the Copper Claw.
This is Calamity Dawn, mixologist of Airship Passepartout.
This is Commodore Lorpicar of Lost Saints Curiosities.
This is Jimmy Diggs of the Crypto Historians, reminding you that the future is in your hands.
This is Gabrielle Reel.
Hi, this is D. Clarence Snyder, writer of the Bright Future series, and you are listening to Talk of the Tavern.
This is Professor Marcus O'Bannon, the Chief Scientific Investigator for the Crypto Historians.
This is Lady Gatita of Nerdvana.
Hey, this is Angie Bello from Ghostfire.
This is Hannah Titania, Queen of the Fairies.
This is Jeff Platt of Highland Steamworks.
This is Danielle Ackley McPhail, co-author of Baba Ali and the Clockwork Djinn, and you are listening to Talk of the Tavern Radio.
Hi, this is John R. White, author of The Tales of the Airship Neverland.
This is Catherine Gleason, author of Anatomy of Steampunk, The Fashion of Victorian Futurism.
This is opera singer Katie Cat.
This is Keith Prusak of Bad September.
This is Captain James Barrington of the mighty Claxton.
This is Emily Leverett, and I'm the editor of Big Bad and Anthology of Evil, Volumes 1 and 2, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern.
And I'm talking over the video here. If everybody comes back, we will shut the video down sooner and get back on air.
This is Melanie Grace with Live Steamy.
We are Warren and Betsy Talbot of MarriedWithLuggage.com.
This is Christopher Meeker, author of Hawthorne, Chronicles of the Brass Hand.
This is Mickey Wonderland, Steampunk Fairy Princess of Wonderland, with a fresh cup of Mad Hatter tea.
Hi, this is Margaret McGraw, author of the prompt writing blog WritersSpark.com, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern.
Hello, this is Mishkin from Bird Eats Baby.
This is Nim Derringer of Airship Hypatia.
This is Painless Parker.
This is Persephone Burroughs Dimebagger, co-captain of the Airship Hypatia.
This is Psyche of Psyche Corporation.
Ahoy, me darlings. This is Misty Massey, author of Mad Kestrel, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern.
I'm Ellie Ann from Steampunk Homes, author of Slice of Life and The Silver Sickle. Hope you enjoy the show.
This is Captain Jared Cornwall of the Melanie Rose.
Hi, this is Lucy Luminos with Tinker the Web Series.
This is Travis Fessler, the steam-powered circus freak from the Pickled Brothers Circus.
This is Scott Norman of The Wars of Other Men.
I'm Mr. Cat of the Cat in Black Art, and you are listening to Talk of the Tavern.
This is Wendy Callahan, author of The Cronus Clock.
This is Daniel Burrow, creator of Tefra, the steampunk role-playing game. Cheers and gears and good gaming.
This is Tempest Wolf, actor and producer of Tinker Web Series. Tinker by name, Tinker by nature.
This is Shelley Dusick, the captain of Vandalia Con, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern.
Did you know? Okay, we're going to call that done and come back now. Because if 5 minutes wasn't enough, well, Elizabeth can take longer. I did bring back some shitty cupcakes and little mini shitty cupcakes. And, oh, wait, here's what we need. We need this.
What do we need?
Time for the roll call for our late night, inappropriate, slightly intoxicated, and very naughty music hour. This is where the faint of heart swoon, parents put children to bed, and things heat up and get steamy. So pour another drink and strap yourself in. It's gonna be a bumpy ride.
Oh, they're so fun.
Yeah, that's the original
Sound,
Sounds of Steam intro music that I used to do when we were Sounds of Steam. Hot Krispy Kreme donuts. Yeah, man, we got those up here.
Oh, God, yeah.
Come on up to the party. We'll put you up. I know you're driving a long way. We'll put you up and get you some Hot Krispy Kreme donuts the day after the party. Kevin, stop doing that to the seal.
Well done.
So...
Sorry about that.
So, Kevin, any corrections or alterations to what I basically outlined, the basics of cooking a chicken breast or a beef steak?
No, I think you pretty much nailed it. The key thing with steak, especially the one thing everybody always... No, let me correct that. Not everyone always gets it wrong. People who cook steak badly, the one error they always make is to failing to allow for resting time.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing worse than serving a steak straight from a hot pan onto the plate, because it's going to be tough. You're going to lose a lot of the flavor that's in the juices. You want to leave it in the pan that it's cooked in, ideally. If you don't want to leave it in the pan because the pan is hot and you're worried it's going to overcook, turn your steak out onto a warm plate, but make sure that you pour all the juices from the pan over the steak as well. And the reason for that is that when you're cooking a steak, like all kinds of meat, when you subject it to heat, it toughens up. Your fibers will start to shrink together.
It clenches.
Yeah. Now, what will happen is, imagine your steak a bit like a sponge. But a couple of minutes after you take it off of the heat, if you leave it sat in those juices, it will suck all of those juices back in between the tissues of the meat again, which leads to a much juicier, much softer finished steak.
Bob, 2 to 5
Leave it in the
minutes.
pan or the plate?
I like to what I normally do is I leave it in the pan, and then for the last minute or so that I'm cooking it, I turn the heat down, and then I just move the pan off of the heat and I let it rest in the warm pan.
And Bob, like I said, Kevin, would you agree 2 to 5 minutes, depending on the thickness of the meat, etc.?
Cooking time is incredibly subjective. I can't tell you how long to cook a steak.
The resting.
Oh yeah, resting time. I'd say 5 minutes is too long because you're going to start to lose all of the heat out of the steak, even sat in a warm pan. Your pan's cooling down, your steak's cooling down. I'd say 2 to 3 minutes is optimal. I'd normally go for about 2 minutes.
There we go, guys. Like I said, I found chicken breast tends to be similar. You season the chicken breast more, however, whatever your flavor palette is. But the same thing with the onions and garlic is wonderful. The butter is wonderful. Pork chops, again, I have found, especially for a nice, thick 1-inch pork chop, works beautifully. And Bob wants to know how the ladies like your meat.
In my mouth.
Still mooing.
And by the way, let me say this. If, like Andrea and I just had a whim, we want steaks tonight, and I went and pulled out some strip steaks. If you're going to do a quick thaw, there's no good way to do it, but there are passable ways. Don't use defrost in your microwave. That's me. Anything you do to avoid a microwave, avoid it. The best way is a slow water drizzle while it's still wrapped in plastic or whatever. This is not right, but I will initially do hot water into whatever pan or container the meat is in, and then it will cool itself. But that's me. You don't want to parboil your fucking meat before you put it in a pan. If your meat...
Whoa, I thought this was eating meat. You're talking about fucking meat?
Eating, fucking, heating it up.
He's going to cook steak after the show.
Yeah.
See, I like food. I don't want to cook it. I'll buy it. I don't want to cook it.
This is why I'm still employed. Although, in fairness, I am now actually a retired professional chef, theoretically speaking.
This week.
Thanks for your confidence in my ongoing employment.
No, I have absolute confidence in your abilities, which is why you'll be fucked over to getting into the kitchen again.
Yeah, funny you should say that. Again, want to guess where I spent 14 hours on Sunday?
Yeah, how'd that work out?
Not well. Well, it went brilliantly for the customers, not well for me. I remember why I'm not disastrously upset that I'm not a professional chef full-time anymore.
And I'll tell everybody this. The secret to good cooking is a dozen basics. I'm not going to define those dozen basics. I'm just going to
practice.
There is. Yeah, and from there, it's a matter of getting your own style. I cook Indian food, Chinese food, Thai food, Mexican food, steaks, which I like to call American just because I want to claim a steak.
See, I bake. I'll bake. I'll make cakes and pies, and I'll bake.
See, with me, baking is mystifying because you've got to use exact ingredients, otherwise you get some fucked up shit. I've seen the show.
No, I disagree with that. Watch my wife bake brownies one day. She weighs nothing. Does it by eye.
See, and that's practice. With any of these, the practice will bring that.
A recipe, right? A lot of people seem to think that a recipe, when it's printed in a book or online or wherever you find it, that is a set of precise instructions. It's not. Treat it like a rough guideline. Don't be afraid to fuck around with a recipe. Add a little bit more of this, a little bit less of that. Okay, you might fuck it up occasionally, but if you fuck it up, make a note of what you changed. Don't change that in future. But don't treat any recipe like it's some kind of cast iron set of rules that you can't deviate outside of. Because if it was, no chef had ever invented anything new.
The trick to it is to keep your ratios the same. The ingredients can change, but keep your ratios the same.
Yeah, I mean, it especially more so with baking, yeah, because you need the correct quantity of flour to butter to sugar. Right. You want a cake to rise enough, rise too much.
I don't like to use oil. I use butter instead. So instead of that much oil, I use that much butter.
Right.
So. I think I mean, I know you can make cakes with oil, but why?
I don't like it.
Why would you want to do that? You have butter available to you. Use butter. It's beautiful.
And just so everybody knows, I have a series of books out called 27 Thoughts On, and there's like on steampunk, enjoying life, etc. I'm going to do one on cooking, and it's going to be 27 like what I just went over with the steak or the chicken.
Basics.
Or how to cook a whole chicken. Yeah, it's the basics, and also there'll be a part on how to stock your kitchen. If you're going for the first time and building your own kitchen, well, here's 6 or 8 great spices to have in your cabinet that are really multi-useful. Here's the basics of what you want in your cabinets when it comes to cooking dishes or spatulas versus spoons. And
talking about seasoning. Let me just throw something in there about steak. Going back to that.
Oh, please.
Do season your steak, but don't use pepper. If you like a bit of peppery taste with your steak, make a pepper sauce. But don't use pepper as a seasoning. It's not a seasoning; it's a spice. Too many people think where you.
You want to give a quick breakdown of how to make a pepper sauce?
Yeah.
A real simple. I mean,
please.
Again, I mean, okay. So I use beef stock, but you guys don't call gravy over there, do you? This is one of those weird. You do.
We have gravy. We have beef stock. We have those things.
Well, gravy to us is generally we have brown gravies.
Yeah, brown. So I'm talking about brown gravy. For a real quick, simple, cheaty version at home that anybody can make in 2 minutes flat, cracked black pepper, double cream, gravy, or concentrated beef stock. Bring the beef stock to the boil, reduce it to the consistency that you want, drop it off the boil before you add the cream. If you add the cream at too high a temperature, it's going to split, and then your sauce will look and taste horrible. So drop it right back to a nice low heat. Add a splash of cream until you get the kind of consistency. I mean, some people like a really dark pepper sauce. Some people like it quite light and creamy. So the amount of cream you put in, that's down to your personal taste. Add your cracked black pepper, and then on the lowest possible heat, let it simmer for at least 5 to 10 minutes, because it takes that long for the actual heat of the pepper to infuse into the liquid. But if you want a real quick, simple version, you can just smack up on the back of the stove while your steak's cooking. Concentrated beef stock, double cream, cracked black pepper.
Okay, Kevin, let me help you define something here. Guys, if you heard the word gravy and you're like, add gravy. No. What he's talking about is beef stock. In America, we have something that's a brown powder they add water to and heat up on your stove, and that's your brown gravy. That's not what he's talking about. He's talking about what makes that, and then they dehydrate what he made to make that.
Gravy to me is, the very first way I got taught to make gravy by my mother, long before I ever came across instant gravy products in this country. When you've roasted a dish of meat for it, like you've cooked a joint of beef or something like that, you take the pan that beef's been cooked in with all the concentrated juices and stuff in the bottom of the pan. Yeah, you put that on the hob. You add boiling water to deglaze the bottom of the pan.
Hob?
Yeah, your cooker.
Okay.
On your gas ring, electric, whatever, stove, on your stove. Put the roasting pan with all that lovely cooked on juices and everything from your joint of meat. Put that on the heat. Add a bit of boiling water to deglaze the bottom of the pan and unstick all of that lovely stuff off the bottom of the pan. Bring that up to the boil, simmer it, reduce it down until it thickens to the consistency you want. That's gravy. It's essentially water and concentrated beef flavor.
There we go. But this book that I want to make, I might come back to you for that gravy recipe, because gravy is one of my weaknesses. I don't make gravies. I buy the powder and add water and
I don't like the powder. Like, I can make sausage gravy and things like that.
One of the most amazing cultural what the fuck moments since I started talking to you guys regularly and first gained my American friends,
sausage
people
gravy.
I could talk to about. What the fuck is it with biscuits and gravy?
You got to try it.
It's a southern thing.
Now I heard biscuits and gravy, and to me that is biscuits to me, sweet cookies. Yeah.
No.
Gravy, concentrated beef stock.
So
and an American said to me, "Oh, I love biscuits and gravy." I'm like, "You are fucked in the head."
Let me tell you about our type of gravy.
Start
you
with
get all the
biscuits.
drippings from the meat.
Start with biscuits. The biscuits, the big buttermilk thing. What?
What?
I said, don't tell her what to do.
Oh yeah, I don't know what a biscuit would be over there.
I don't know what to call it, but a piece of. No, this is different. A buttermilk biscuit it's going to be round, It's going to be about that tall when cooked correctly.
And flaky and layers.
And when you open it up, yeah, you get like layers and flakiness, and it's got you dust it with butter on the outside before and after cooking, and it's just this wonderful
like a bread.
bready, kind of not mushy in the middle, but sticky almost in
Soft
the middle.
and fluffy.
The closest I can think of by comparison is it's similar to a scone.
Might be.
Which is what you guys would have had for your, you had a cream tea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, it's nothing like that.
Is it nothing like that at all?
Well,
When I read the recipe for biscuits,
it's between a layered, the French pastry that they layer in multiple layers.
The meal
it's between that and a scone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not as flavorful. That's why you put the gravy on it.
Des,
but you make your sausage.
Hold on a second, if I may. I'm sorry. Des, you out of here too, man? And Devnall says honey or jelly. And if you are, have a good one, bud. We'll catch you again later this week.
Feel better, Des.
Yeah, Des, with you being in the middle of nowhere, you're going to join us on a weekday show, I think. Thank you, Bob. Appreciate that, buddy. Here's to you. Have a good night.
And I'm assuming by jelly. I'm assuming by jelly what he means is jam, because to us in the UK, jelly is what you call Jello.
No.
No.
No?
Jelly and jam. Jam's a little more thicker,
Jam is your
more
preserves. It's lumpier. It's more real fruit. Jelly is almost like a Jello
it's just the juice.
Jam.
Oh, okay.
It's weird, and jam is always better than jelly.
Mm.
Okay, yeah. Andrea, I'm sorry. I will quit it. Oh man, feel better. Andrea, go on about sausage gravy. I will
sausage gravy. See, now I used to make this when I used to cook. I can do this. You cook up your sausage and all the grease and stuff from the meat. You mix it with flour until it becomes like a gravy, and you add salt and pepper, and you make like a white thick gravy. And you mix your sausage in it, and that's what you put over the biscuits. And after you eat it, you need a nap.
It is so thick and rich and filling. One good size biscuit with this gravy on top of it is a meal. It is
I don't
just
like biscuits.
thick and rich and creamy, and a bit of a pepper in it, so you got that peppery burst. And good sausage. You could buy canned sausage gravy. That shit is nasty. It is like Elmer's glue with cheap ass sausage in it. Don't ever eat that. Ian just mentioned apple dumplings, smoked pork, and gravy topped with some Cool Whip is my kryptonite. And to hear them all together, I'm like, that sounds nasty, but really good.
Apple dumplings, smoked pork.
Yeah, okay. I want to.
Now,
what do you got,
just to be sure I'm on the same page as you guys, define dumpling.
An apple tart, sort of. It's almost like what you just ate would be similar to an apple dumpling, but instead of the filling being in the middle, it's through the whole thing.
It's on top. Yeah.
Okay. So not like a British dumpling. Okay.
Well, we also have there's chicken and dumplings, which are essentially dough balls thrown in with your chicken when you're boiling it down, and
yeah, no, that's more along the lines of a British dumpling: flour, butter, beef suet.
Yeah.
Ian says there's an apple pudding on Townsend's I want to replace the apple dumpling with. Man, I need to try that. I need to, especially
apple pudding.
I want good smoked pork. Everybody in the U.S. says pulled pork is great. I don't think so. It's okay. It's fine.
There's no flavor to it.
No, not really. You either the vinegar you add to it or the barbecue sauce. That's your flavor. The smoked pulled pork itself. Actually, most people don't even smoke their pulled pork. And Kevin, pulled pork would be a pork roast that you cook so it's so tender you tear it apart and shred it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best pork I have ever had in my life was in Berlin at a tiny gas house right by the train. And they call it Eisbein. And they take pork, and an enormous chunk of pork, and they cook it at 250. I mean, very, very low for 14 hours.
Oh my God.
That's how I do my crock pot.
It's still pink.
Oh.
And when you touch it, it just falls apart. It is so moist and delicious.
So like when you cook children.
Like when you cook children. And the best part also were they made mashed peas, but they were yellow peas. And it was ungodly big. And you just ate it. And I've never, in America, you can't get ice spine cooked the right way because Americans freak out if they see pink pork. And they don't appreciate it's been cooked for 14 hours.
The health board has now pointed out you can eat pink pork. Trichinosis is such a bygone thing that you can now have medium cooked pork. It can be pink in the center.
The laws, the safety rules and things,
in a
the
restaurant,
inspections are so strict. You can't do that.
I went to a great burger joint with Andrea last weekend, or this past weekend, and because of the way the burger I was getting, they're like, oh, we can't cook that medium rare. We have to cook it all the way through. And I'm like, well, and it was a mediocre burger at best because of that.
For a beef burger?
That's correct.
Fuck off. What the fuck is steak tartare then?
Well, here's the problem with
raw meat.
Here's why. A, they're a burger joint. B, instead of being one nice thick patty, it was two thinner patties put on the same burger. And I don't think they can cook it medium rare because 18 seconds isn't enough cooking. And it's brown in the middle after 20.
Yeah, I can see the point there. If you're doing really thin patties, then you're not eating.
Yeah. Mine was pink, but I got a thick burger.
Right.
Mine was pink.
But also,
and they put a fried egg on top. That's my favorite.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
With burgers and stuff, I like a little bit of pinkness in the middle. It's a bit like, why would you buy a steak and then cook it well done? If you're going to have a well done steak, you might as well buy a burger because you're cooking so much of the natural juices out of the meat that you're cooking all that flavour out along with it. And you're ending up with just a bland, tasteless, overcooked piece of beef.
And to be clear, if that's how you like your steak cooked, more power to you.
Hey,
you are
whatever.
welcome to be wrong.
Oh, yeah. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not saying that you should, no one should ever have a well-done steak. If you like your steak like that, more power to you. I just think you're a fucking heathen.
Yeah.
If you pay for it, whatever.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. When I worked restaurants and people would order that, and I'm like, you just ordered a well-done filet mignon. You know what? But they paid the damn money, cook it how they fucking wanted, and put it in front of them. It's
that's what you want to pay $30 for.
And then they get the A1 sauce and coat that thing so it's dripping like you just put the sauce over a cake.
Sauce? What kind of sauce is so horrendous you can't even give it a name? It just has a number designation.
A1. Actually, A1 is a decent steak sauce for
good.
A bad cut of meat. If you go get a bad cut of meat and you cook it up, putting A1 on it isn't bad. A1 is also good on a burger. If you put baked potatoes on a burger with grilled onions, it's a wonderful flavoring. But it's essentially vinegar, pepper, caramel coloring, and a few other seasonings thrown in there. It's decent. It's like Worcestershire sauce made thick.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's
a little bit of extra.
Yeah, and it's thick. It actually comes out.
It's got quite a bit of umami to it then.
Yeah, your mommy. Where's the your mommy?
Where's that one?
Where's the your?
It's a flavor designation like sweet or sour. If it has umami, it's kind of like a meaty cheesiness. Parmesan's a brilliant example.
Okay. It's A1 sauce is good on brats and dogs.
It's good on your mom as well.
Now, Devnal, I will agree with the right brat or dog. If you've got yourself a nice cheddar wurst or a cheddar brat, anything below medium, and I'm morally obligated to revive. See, that's now by below, I'm guessing you mean rare, medium rare. You're going to try to revive it. See, and that's your personal taste, man. You're more than welcome to eat it how you want, and we will not judge you for being uncultured heathen swine.
I jest saying that I think you're a heathen, but at the end of the day, food is like a lot of things in life. It's subjective.
Yeah,
what I find enjoyable with my food, you may find completely different with your food. And at the end of the day, you're the person who's eating it. You're the person who's enjoying that meal. Have it however the fuck you want.
By the way, another quick shout out to Skipper for getting on the phone with me this weekend and walking me through the new soundboard I got, as well as sending a couple extra mics for me, which are they're the old reliables. They're not top of the line, but they're good and durable and older, and they don't look pretty, so people don't steal them.
They're pretty much like the hosts of this show, then.
Kind of, yeah. It fits well with.
So maybe we can have a special show when Elizabeth comes out here. Maybe we can get maybe we can get Ed to come out too.
Elizabeth, that's something I did mention is if Ed and Teresa come out and you come out, we have condenser mics that we could put in the middle of all of us and just throw on the camera. So yeah, there is a possibility of doing a special episode of Talk of the Tavern with at least 4 of the 5 regular hosts here.
We got toasted on Talk of the Tavern.
There we go. We do our video clip of all of us saying that, huh?
You know, excuse me, I'm up for it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
And even if Ed and Teresa doesn't come out, there's no reason the 3 of us can't go on after the party or the day after.
Aren't Andrea and I supposed to share cannolis? Is that right?
Wait, who's making cannolis?
See,
I should bring them. I'm coming from New York. Come on, man.
Oh, yeah. Ian says barbecue with Franklin shows all the secrets he learns from Texas Smokehouse. He takes a show to. Those briskets are something I don't do, but I would like to because I love it, but I don't cook it. Max says if you get your steak within 2 feet of the grill, that's enough heat. See, there's our
my father is a constant embarrassment because if we go out to a restaurant, if he orders steak, if the server says to him, "How would you like your steak cooked?" he just says, "Cut its horns off, wipe its ass, and walk it past the radiator on the way to the table."
Now, let me ask you, would he seriously eat a raw piece of meat if they brought it out?
I don't know, raw. I've seen him eat steak blue before when it's a good quality cut of meat, but that he'll only order it blue from a place where he's been before and he knows the meat's going to be good quality. Otherwise, he has a tendency to go rare.
Okay. See, and Skipper, this makes sense. Go
I'm
ahead,
the same thing.
Let's
because a texture.
read a statement. Yeah, texture issue for Skipper. Some cuts of meats I'm fine with below medium, but sirloin has to be medium for me. And yeah, Andrea has that same problem. It's because of Kevin that she'll eat something medium rare now because Kevin explained that's not blood.
It's not, actually, no. And for anyone who thinks that, let me explain that. You need to bear in mind that before meat reaches the market, it's cut and hung for quite a considerable time, during which time all the blood drains out of the meat. That red liquid that you see coming out of your steak is not blood, which is hemoglobin. It's a chemical called hemoseptin, which is actually responsible for carrying oxygen around muscle tissue. And it's much slower to leach out of the system than blood. Blood flows directly from the arteries as soon as there's an opening in the blood circulatory system, which is why as soon as you cut and hang a piece of meat, it will drain quite quickly. Hemoseptin's actually in the tissue of the muscle. So it's only when you start to do things like apply heat to it, or you start to tenderize a steak and batter it with a hammer, that you then open that tissue up to the point where hemoseptin comes out. So what you're seeing isn't technically blood. It's a very fine point for some people, but there you go.
Yeah,
well, I knew it wasn't to begin with, but still.
I don't like blood in my pussy.
It's one of those things.
Skipper's quite right as well when he says about the texture thing. Some types of steak will handle being cooked less much better than others will. Yeah. I would never recommend a rump steak or a ribeye steak be cooked less than medium rare, because at rare you've got so much sinew, so much fine veining of fat through that meat that you're not breaking that fat down and denaturing it enough to soften it. So you're going to end up with a piece of meat that takes you 4 hours to chew through, and it defeats the object. It will still taste nice, but texture-wise, I mean, the amount of effort it takes you to actually chew through that just destroys the dining experience.
See, and that's my problem with some meats when they're cooked rare. I don't want a raw piece of meat that I have to, like, literally, you can't even cut through it. You got to tear through it with your teeth. Yeah, I don't want that. I want to...
No, something lovely and lean without any fat banding through it, like a fillet steak. Then by all means go rare on it, because you're not going to get that same kind of textural problem in terms of cutting through it.
See, this
but
is
for anything that is, look at your meat. You can see on a visual inspection how much fine white veining of fat there is running through that steak. The more of that there is, the less likely it's going to be a nice cut of meat if you undercook it.
See, this is why ribeye confuses me. Ribeye has wonderful flavoring because it is just marbled with fat. But people don't understand that marbling with fat creates a different texture. And yeah, you can't do certain things with that. And by the way, there is nothing wrong with a cheap cut of meat because that allows you to use some wonderful sauces, gravies, seasoning mixes, and cook it a little more. And then at that point in time, you're actually using the meat as a delivery system for a flavor base as opposed to just enjoying a good steak. I'm not saying buy cheap meat, but I'm not saying be ashamed if you do. Just
I like the color you're putting on the board.
Yeah, you got some colored markers.
It's okay to be cheap.
Mm-hmm.
I found a green and I found a red.
Yeah.
Okay, no one comments.
Elizabeth,
What's that?
one of my friends was round the other day, and I was leafing through some stuff on Instagram on my phone, and he was sat next to me on the couch, and I flicked past your picture from last week's show, and he nudged me and he went, "Was I imagining things, or did you just flick past a painting of a woman shitting out a pickle?"
Yeah. Welcome to the tavern. Here's to
That's
Elizabeth
pretty
and
much
her
what I
art.
said.
The show?
We call that instant read. Instant.
Yeah. I said to him, if you find that shocking, you should tune into the show some weeks.
Exactly.
So you have to bear in mind, this is 3 hours of that kind of stuff condensed into one picture. You should see the source.
Bosch would be proud.
Yeah, one of my coworkers said something about that, and I'm like, yeah, she draws what we talk about on this show.
Definitely eye-catching.
Well, it's working. It's working, right?
It is. It is.
Stir it up.
I love it.
Yeah. And this is funny that we got into the third hour and get all serious on the actual topic and totally avoided
But
the
now no one's listening.
rest of the show has been horrible. We have maintained a decent amount of folks. We're doing good when it comes to the
We
numbers.
still have 12 people.
Yeah, not bad.
I'm just trying to work out what... Travis's amazing disappearing pussy.
Well,
right behind your head.
Oh,
it disappeared behind his curtains.
Do I finally?
You get a lot of your ceiling too, man.
Do you? Here, I can fix that. See, you guys got it. Like I said, I got two cameras. I got the one for you, and I got the one for the audience. So, yeah, is that less ceiling for you now? Should I pull it in more?
I had a really good time recently. I found a corned beef that was quite smaller than the rest. It ran about $9, and I bought it, and I rinsed it off really well, and I oven cooked it. Did I tell you this already?
No, go on.
I don't have a rack. I didn't want to boil it. I wanted to oven cook it. I don't have a rack. I'm still kind of growing here. So I took just a casserole dish, and then I layered it with small carrots and thickly chopped onion.
See,
and
that's
then put
a great
that
way to
on
do
top
it.
of that. I think I might have added just a touch of water just to give it some moisture, and then I wrapped it in tin foil.
One of the first things I got taught about roasting meat when I got taught how to do it by a chef rather than by someone at home was when you're cooking a joint of meat, always put, depending on the size of the joint, halved small onions, halved whole carrots, layer the base of the pan with that, and the reason is that it supports your joint so that it doesn't sit in all the juices in the bottom of the pan. Otherwise you're roasting the top half and broiling the bottom half, and then you end up getting it cooking in two different ways. You get lovely browning on the top half, and the bottom half doesn't brown at all because it's sat in liquid. So
and the vegetables are amazing.
Yeah.
The great bonus to that is your vegetables taste fucking amazing afterwards. Or if you're making gravy, British gravy, you can take some of those vegetables and blend those into your gravy and use them as a thickening agent to make your gravy thicker without needing to use cornstarch or flour or another thickening agent.
See, Elizabeth, what you're talking about there is the same thing I do when I use a slow cooker. I'm just doing it in the slow cooker, the crock pot instead of the oven, but it's the same concept. But yeah, you out of here,
I didn't have a thermometer. I didn't know when it was done. I just said, let's just give it a shot. 3.5 hours? Perfect.
See, and that's the thing about this basic cookbook I'm talking about. These are the base skills, and from there you go, well, I know this works. Let me try this. And usually...
And I think there's excuse me, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm just saying, usually
I think there's a lot to be learned when you screw a recipe up. Because, you have that choice. Do I throw it out or do I eat it? And if you eat it, you really remember that lesson.
Yeah. And throw in odd flavor combinations together, for anyone who's...
Yeah,
we'll
get to him in a second. Let Kevin finish his thought, because that's a whole nother topic.
I was just going to say, for anyone who's never tried this, carrots, don't cook them in water. Cook them in orange juice.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Okay.
And then if you want to be really fancy, when your carrots are done, drain them off, but retain the liquid, retain the orange juice you cook the carrots in, bring it up to a high boil, add a pinch of brown sugar and reduce it down to a glaze, and then toss your carrots in it.
Oh, see, that'd be good for Thanksgiving.
Oh man, they will give you the sweetest carrots you've ever tasted.
It sounds like you could do that with yams or sweet potatoes also.
Quite possibly, yeah.
That's what they do with that.
You can finish that with like a little bit of fresh thyme. Oh, amazing.
And this is what you do when you experiment. Know what the base flavor of whether it's a seasoning, a meat, or a vegetable does, and know how to mix and match. It's the same thing if you're a fashion guru because you know how to put colors or patterns or styles together that should clash, but they work together. Food is the same way.
It is true.
Chefs use certain pairings of seasonings. You'll see certain flavors come together quite often. For example, carrot and coriander. And the reason you see those together is not just because the two gel well together as a pair of flavors, but because by adding coriander, it actually makes the carrots taste more carroty,
right?
For lack of a more technical description. It enhances the flavor difference between the two flavors, makes you appreciate both flavors more, intensifies both sides of the equation.
Okay, Andrea, do you want to read Ian's question or comment there? And Dev's, too, because what the fuck does that mean?
Okay, real quick, and then I have an emergency I have to take care of.
Okay.
Ian says, anyone ever have the more exotic meats like pig or sheep balls? Had the mountain sheep, Rocky Mountain oysters, and they were actually rather tasty. I have not eaten the balls.
I have eaten testicles once.
Travis, comment?
I do. I'm going to let him speak first, though.
They were okay.
What's that texture like?
Bally?
The ones I had, they were slightly fatty. I'm trying to think of a good analogy for... it's a difficult one to put a finger on, if you'll pardon the pun. Yeah.
See, it's the texture that makes me go... and I'm not saying I wouldn't try it, but it would have to be with somebody I know. I don't want to just randomly pick it up in a restaurant and have the crew leaning out of the kitchen window going, here he goes, let's watch his face. I need a private...
It depends as well by what Ian means by more exotic meats, whether he's just meaning unusual body parts or whether you mean unusual meats. I mean, I've tried pretty much everything there is going, at least once,
Yeah, it's, by the way,
I'm Polish. I eat every part of the pig, cow, sheep.
Everything but the squeak.
Everything.
Well,
let me tell you, duck blood soup is amazing, and pickled pig's feet is ungodly.
I'm a big fan of sweetbreads and offals and stuff. I love liver, kidneys, heart, fantastic stuff.
Oh, and Kevin, I didn't tell you, last week during had time off from school, I finally found a sushi place I could get monkfish liver.
Ooh.
It was fantastic. Oh.
Wow.
Good.
See,
they only gave you 4 little cakes, but it was fantastic. I didn't know that. I can't wait to eat with you in person. We're gonna tear some little fat.
We'll be fat by the end of it.
Clear.
I'm gonna be like Mr. Creosote from the Monty Python film.
And then we'll have to put it on camera because we'll have to watch the rest of our reactions. Like, I expect Ed's reaction will be, I ain't putting that shit in my mouth. And him not even trying it, and me trying it, and then Andrea out of pressure trying it, but just like, I don't know.
I'll be in there with just shoveling it in with a snow shovel.
We have those.
Andrea will have her tea. I do not approve.
By the way, Devnall says, does Martian refried tit count?
I admit I haven't had that.
Neither have I. Ian says, I hear they cook bullcock in England. I know they have dog chew toys made of bull penis. It's called the pizzle. And they are the length of a walking stick.
They do, but I would qualify that by saying that you're about as likely to find it on a restaurant menu as you would be anywhere else in the world. It's definitely a speciality dish. It's not something. It's not like every second person in Britain is like, let's have a bit of bullcock this weekend.
Oh,
and yes, insert your own puns here, but I have tried penis on more than one occasion.
Have you had dog?
No, dog is one of the few meats I've never had.
I haven't had it either. I'm not sure I'd want it, but I'd try it. I mean,
I'd give it. I'd give it a go, but I think because that's the chef in me. I mean, there's lots of foods that I've grown to not love, but certainly be accustomed to. That if I was starving to death and you put it in front of me, I'd now eat it. And that's because obviously, as a chef, whether you like it or not, you've got to taste it and know what it should taste like, because you have to know if it's seasoned correctly and it tastes good before you serve it to a customer.
So
you don't have that choice.
I know originally chows were not only guard dogs, but they were also a source of food. They were raised as a source of food in China. And I would assume, something like a chow or a Shar-Pei or a bulldog is going to have a very different texture than some of your smaller dogs. Chihuahua, I don't expect is going to cook well. I imagine it would be stringy, but then again, maybe a fat American Chihuahua would be delicious. The ones that already look like a fucking sausage with 4 little stick legs anyway,
Like a Dachshund.
Yeah.
The Dachshund's a dog of German descent whose front end don't know where its back end went.
So here we go. Here's the question, since we're here. Would you eat a person?
Yeah.
And not sexually. All right, let's get over that hump right away.
Yes.
I'd give it a go. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not in a restaurant.
I would. Fuck it.
You could choose them. You could choose them in the cage. Which person would you prefer? Kevin, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I do it for the same reason that I try any other food, which is that being a chef for over 2 decades has taught me that there are a lot of foods out there that if I'd just gone by the description or the appearance of it, I'd never have tried it. But because I'm a chef and I'm interested in food, and so there's that bit in the back of my brain that's like, well, even if you don't like it, give it a try, because it's something you've never tried, and at least then you can add it to the list of experiences, because you never know when that then comes in useful later on. We're like, hey, remember that thing I tried? Maybe I could do that, but with this. And then it comes back to that whole thing about applying techniques and flavors and combinations you've experienced before and then using them to create new things. So the more new experiences I can absorb, the more rounded, if you like, as a chef I am. So hell yeah, I'd try human meat.
By the way, Von Hegner says long pork, also known as long pig. Skipper says,
pig, yeah.
I've had a lot of different animal meats. Elk, antelope, bear, moose, bobcat, alligator. I have tried most of those. I have not tried bobcat, but moose, bear.
No, I haven't.
Elk, haven't had a chance for antelope, but I assume it'd be similar to deer. Alligator I have. Snake I have not. And not because I'm against it, just because I haven't had a chance. Go ahead, Kev.
I've tried it.
Yeah.
Did you try people, Travis?
Oh yeah. It's now I would be particular about depending on the situation. I don't want people's organs because of the crap that we put into our bodies. Now, if we were in a apocalyptic type situation where I know they've been eating fresh fruits and vegetables and the odd piece of meat as opposed to the chemicals and stuff that we ingest now, it'd be a different story. But I still, because of science, wouldn't eat anything from the neck up. Maybe tongue. I have had beef tongue, tacos de lengua, and they're okay.
The problem with, you're right, I think the problem with brain or anything else from a human is that you would need to 100% know not just the source of the meat, but also the health of the human before it became food.
Well, also
otherwise you're running down the same lines that caused the massive outbreak in Europe about a decade ago of bovine spongiform encephalopathy.
There we go.
BSE.
Yeah, and that's the problem when you're watching these zombie Walking Dead, or I watched a Book of Eli the other day. There are chemicals in the brain that can build up in your system and create negative effects. And because of that, I would want to avoid it. I don't want to egg scramble with brain in it.
The downside to that was that for ages it was virtually impossible to get oxtail. because it's the opposite end of the spinal column to the brain, and so with the dangers of BSE and the panic over that, oxtail was virtually impossible to get hold of for a long time.
When I lived in South Florida,
that's changed again now.
With the Cuban food, I've had oxtail, and this was about 10 years ago. I don't know when.
It's still a huge problem here, or at least considered a problem in America, because you're not allowed to give blood if you've lived for an extended period overseas. And, I have a blood type that, isn't really rare, but about 8% of the population has, and they won't allow me to donate because I lived in England and Germany.
Oh, right.
For a long period.
Is that because of the concern over the consumption of certain foods then?
Consumption or maybe affliction or infection.
Mm-hmm. Okay, exposure to it as well.
Yeah, and it's not even founded yet. It's just perhaps blanket reaction.
Better safe than sorry type reaction. It's and especially
oxtail. Oxtail makes the most amazing beignets.
Yeah, well, we
have to save up for a trip to Britain so we can go have oxtail soup.
Well, we can have that in Florida with the Cuban food. I had, I want to say...
But let's go to England anyway.
There we go. That's a good answer.
If I
miss all conversation.
Elizabeth, if I come to America, I'll try just shoving an oxtail down the front of my jeans and see if I can just pass it off in the scanner.
There we go.
This is not typical for you Americans.
I'll vouch for you. I'll come pick you up at the airport.
You're like, nope. That's all him. Skipper said, I'm pretty sure my liver would bring good money during the zombie apocalypse. I would have to point out during the zombie apocalypse, money is worthless.
You'd be smoky. Smoky.
Skipper, don't worry about the snake thing. I keep snakes. I love snakes, but I've also eaten it.
I'm the same way about squirrel, where I think they're fucking adorable, but I realize, they're goddamn rats. And people are like, oh, I killed one and ate it. I'm like, well, good for you. And they're like, you're not upset? Like, no.
One thing I haven't tried, I really want to try, is hedgehog.
Why?
Agreed.
Partly because I've read a lot about how nice it can be if it's done properly, but also because I have a big posh cookbook called Larousse Gastronomique, and when I dropped it open for the first time to a random page, the very first recipe I lit upon was an old Romany recipe on how to cook hedgehog. And ever since that day, I'm like, I really want to try this.
I assume that's the full-size hedgehogs, not the little African pygmy hedgehogs.
You basically curl the hedgehog up into a ball, so you tuck the head and the tail end together, and then you wrap the whole lot in wet clay, and then you bake it in the center of a fire. And then afterwards, when you crack the clay and you pull the clay off, it pulls all the spines of the skin away from the meat.
Be like having a
Wasn't there a movie that did that recently? Wasn't there a horror movie? They did that to people, baking them in clay.
I don't know. Maybe.
But it's a tried and true cooking format. I mean, luau's and other things, not necessarily clay caked, but no, it's
my favorite. My favorite chef's book, by the way. It's a question I get asked a lot sometimes. So if anyone does give a toss, one thing that people ask me a lot is, "Oh, you're a chef. What's your favorite cookbook you own?" Larousse Gastronomique.
How often do you use a cookbook?
These days, not a lot.
Good night, Von Hegner. Thank you, buddy.
Good night, Von Hegner. Thanks for joining us. These days, not a lot, but then I've been doing it for 24 years. So sometimes maybe if I want to check, like Andrew was saying earlier about getting your balance of quantities right. It's not about how much you use. Right. It's about getting the correct ratios. Sometimes if I want to double check on something that I haven't done for a long time, I might dip into Larousse or something like that. Do I generally look in a cookbook for recipes for things? Not so much, but then that's because I've got 24 years experience of cooking all kinds of stuff to draw on. So I don't need them to resource so much.
Keep a good basic Betty Crocker cookbook in the house because when I want to learn something. What's that?
I don't know if I can be bothered to fuck around trying to turn the camera, but you guys have been in my lounge. You've seen, I mean, I may not use them very often, but it doesn't mean I don't own cookbooks. That whole shelving unit above my TV is nothing but cookbooks.
See, it's cookbooks for me, like you were saying earlier. I will try a recipe exactly as it's printed the first time. Second time, maybe change it a little, but by the third to fifth time, I'm on my own and I'm making it how I want. Okay?
I've got one cookbook, thinking about it, that I do actually, that I would refer to for recipes. And that's because of what that cookbook is. And it's a Gordon Ramsay cookbook called 3-Star Chef.
Okay.
And the reason I'd go to that one is because what 3-Star Chef is essentially is Ramsay brought out, he was at a press conference of one of his book releases in this country. And at the end, where they threw it open to questions from the journalists, one guy put his hand up and he said, Gordon, you're a 3 Michelin starred chef. And across your restaurants around the world, you have over 25 Michelin stars. Why do you keep bringing out cookbooks telling people how to make a Sunday roast or an apple pie? Why aren't you bringing out cookbooks that tell people how to make 3 Michelin star food? So later on that year, one of Gordon's flagship restaurants in this country is Royal Hospital Road. And Royal Hospital Road changed their menu 4 times a year. That's spring, summer, autumn, winter menus. So at the end of that spring, when they changed their menu, he brought out 3-Star Chef, which was an entire season's worth of recipes from Royal Hospital Road. Literally from start to finish, every procedure, every step, every balance of ingredients, how he made all of those dishes that had been available in this 3 Michelin starred restaurant. And that's about the only cookbook I refer to, because that goes into the kind of technical detail I might need to refer to. I'll get it down off the shelf, actually.
Yeah, get it.
While you're doing that, I'll read some comments.
I'll whip out my 3-star.
Get it.
Which I want to ask about. Normally 5 stars is the best. Is 3-star Michelin the best? Okay. Reading some comments here. Okay. Ian says, avoid barracuda due to the toxin. Their prey, eat off the coral. It causes the same symptoms as MS. We mentioned that last week in the scuba diving show. Max says, old movie in Africa, I think, covered a guy in mud, put him on the spit, which, there we go. So 3-star is the best in this case.
So for Michelin, for the Michelin restaurant rating, 3 stars is the best. There is no higher rating.
No, I'm all about a good fancy recipe, but I do like a basic recipe. So you know the basics before you try the crazy stuff. Raw oysters, definitely not my thing because of texture. I don't like slimy, chewy.
No, but out here you covered a story. Travis
feel about that.
Travis covered a story because they had like oyster festival thing here, and they were giving away raw oysters because the lady that was the fastest oyster shucker was here.
Yeah, she's like 76 years old. She comes from a family of shuckers.
She could shuck right off.
Oh yeah,
mother shucker.
She was a mother shucker. Ian says Max coating the flesh in mud helps bake the flesh instead of burning it. What do you got there, Kev?
I'm just showing you pretty pictures.
That doesn't look like a lot of food. You'd go away hungry.
No, it doesn't matter. No, when you have a beautifully cooked meal, you're there for the flavor as opposed to the American concept of, I want to feel bloated when I'm done eating.
I'm an American.
Yeah, and it is something that a small cookie that tastes wonderful is better than a huge cookie that's okay. And
that's why you make it at home and you have 2. Wow.
See, and I've looked at these fancy French restaurants with pictures like this, and I'm like, well, that's like nothing to eat. But I have to assume the flavor is so incredible that you're like, I'm okay.
But then you just get one of everything, and you could try everything.
Well, that's another thing. That's the reason the portions are small, because you have 7 courses.
Sometimes
yeah,
the thing people forget about Michelin star cookery is that you aren't paying in that kind of establishment to go in and walk out clutching your gut going, God, I couldn't eat another thing. And you're not paying for the amount of food on your plate. What you're paying for is that some poor bastard has spent literally 10 hours of prep time to produce that. We're not talking about the kind of food where you can just mass produce it and stick it on a supermarket shelf, because nobody's interested in that, because it's just not financially viable. For example, one of the dishes that when I worked in just under a Michelin star restaurant, we also have in this country what's called the AA Rosette rating, and to equivalent that, 3 rosettes is just below 1 Michelin star. So I worked in a 3 rosette restaurant. One of the stocks that we used to use for one of the sauces for one of the dishes takes 3 days to make.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you, Kevin, because here steakhouses are big. So you have Outback Steakhouse where you go pay $15 to $30 for your steak, and you walk away with what you get. Then you have other steakhouses that you walk in and you're going to pay $100 a plate to start. Do you think there's any steak out there that's worth $100 as opposed to $30?
No. I see all the time about like Japanese Kobe beef and stuff like that, or Wagyu beef. You know, oh, this cow was massaged and it was treated just. It's beef. Fuck what you've done to it.
I've gone to the place where it's $100 a plate steak place. It's more the atmosphere.
Right.
The food is good. It's a little bit better than like Outback, but it's more the atmosphere.
Yeah. You're paying for the service and the experience, and there is something to be said, paying for an experience. And that's what these are. Each bite of food is an experience.
I need that in my life.
This is where you purposely take teeny bites so you can savor the flavor, as opposed to a huge bite because you're going to be full.
In answer to your question, Andrea, that is a raspberry, lemon, and basil mille-feuille with milk ice cream.
Oh, I need this. I love raspberry.
You love raspberries? I'll give you raspberry.
You're a dork.
Thank you.
See, and that's
Is that
the other
rice?
thing. That's sushi, yeah, with rice, and it's
No.
No?
But it's not. That's. You've got an apple parfait here, which is topped with freshly stewed and diced apple, bitter chocolate, champagne foam, and fresh honeycomb.
Oh, it's desserts. I like desserts. They're my favorite.
Always the section I go to first.
We're in the last 5 minutes. We didn't even do any cannibal jokes, like two clowns eating a cannibal and one says, or two cannibals eating a clown, not two clowns eating a cannibal. And does this taste funny to you?
Oh, wait, I didn't have it ready. Hold on. Hold on. Here
Turn
it
it
goes.
over.
You can save it for the next one if you want.
Turn it over.
Two cannibals eating a guy. They says, we'll split them. You start at the head, I'll start at the feet. Halfway through, the guy to start at the head says, you enjoying it? And the other one says, I'm having a ball.
So what are the cubes?
In that particular one, they're just like a dice of baby vegetables. It's truffle and rootstock vegetable infusion with a roasted fillet of beef on top.
We are in the last 4 minutes. I want to wrap up the show here. Next week, join us for... Oh my goodness, what is next week? Anybody remember?
There you go. Since we're talking about steak a lot tonight, there's a bit of porn for you there.
That's what you started with, isn't it?
Next week is We Didn't Start the Fire.
We're going to have Calamity Dawn, a.k.a. Sarah Camerata, on to join us for that. That conversation is going to be, as much as we bitch about this generation, the old generation, the new generation, we want to point out this shit has been going on long before we were ever born or our parents or grandparents were born. And
Thank
we're
you,
going to
Devno.
work in it backwards from now to then. Yes, here's to you, Devno. Thank you. Tomorrow, join us for Bob Eisenstein, where I play some Victor Sierra music, and Kevin shows us pictures of pork. That's nice.
That's on the top of the pork there. That one's just for Elizabeth. That's char grilled monkfish tail.
Oh wow!
Wednesday for middle-aged gamers, I'll be playing a zombie video game with a good storyline all by myself because Andrea's got other things to do. Thursday,
I have my day job.
VIP, I don't know what we're doing on that. We're going to show up and we're going to talk about something, and maybe we'll have a guest, maybe we won't. We do have great...
Well, you're going to try to get Stephanie, right?
Correct. Yeah, we'll see if she'll join us. Next week, we also have Rod Belcher, and so on. Is that a bug? Is that a cicada? Oh, it's asparagus.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, if you're talking to me, yes, that's asparagus, yeah.
Not a cicada. My bad.
That is, I don't know, because it's not coming across brilliantly because of the lower layer there is tartare of beef. And then you have caviar on the top, marinated red and yellow pepper. And then you have alternating squares of confit yellow pepper and squid.
There we go.
I need to try that.
For our closing toast, we're going to do this. How about this? Here's to trying new things and new people.
Cheers.
Who are we going to rate?
Cheers.
Thank you. I'm glad you remembered. I don't have my post-it up about that. Let me see who we have online. It might be Lady Orange again. Speaking of delicious things. It is Lady Orange. That's the only one I have that I'm following that's on.
Okay, we shall raid her.
So we're going to set up that raid.
Candy raid.
But we need our closing music.
Still available to buy if anyone's interested.
I'm so getting that book.
Brace yourself because it's not cheap. I don't know if it's still selling at normal price, but when I bought that, it was 60 quid.
Don't forget to join us.
She's just going to look at the pictures.
Until then, have fun, keep learning.
Jump on that raid, guys, even if you can't stay.
Now,
show a little love to another streamer.
Enjoy the small
Thank you for joining us tonight, and I look forward to having you, each and every one of you, again later this week. And next week, here's to less technical fucking issues.
You're here.
Yeah, that means I gotta buy a soundboard.
YouTube, subscribe.